Hi. I'm still organizing. Oh, hello. Hello. I'm glad you're all here. It's Sunday. It's Sunday. I should be in pajamas. I don't know why I didn't keep pajamas on, but...
You have pajama pants on.
Because I went to church, came home. Don't tell everyone I have pajama pants on, Mike. Went to church, came home and put my pajamas back on, because isn't that what we all do? Hello, I'm glad you're here. It's Sunday, which means it's one of my favorite times to go live because I feel like, I don't know, it's just a playtime. Get to have fun. And the best part is today is a new release from Concord and 9th and Kristina Werner, so it's perfect for me to play with. And it's their 11th anniversary, Concord and 9th's 11th anniversary, so we should celebrate that too. It's their birthday. I have not been feeling good. On Friday and Saturday I wasn't feeling great. Turns out I have an ear infection, but I'm taking medicine. So if I sneeze and sniffle and cough, that's why. But I did time my drugs so that hopefully I'll be okay through this live.
Oddly enough, the dog has an ear infection too, so
my dog has an ear infection too.
Strange about that.
Who knows? Did you have your mic on for that?
I think so.
Okay. I didn't know if they could hear you or not. Okay. Yes, today are cloud pajama pants. I know, it's classy. I've had them for so long that, you know how fleece gets all pilly? They're not soft anymore, so I need to replace them. And I have my favorite mug from my friend Heather, and it says, Overthinkers Club, churning since forever. Hello. I think Brianne's here. Sika, Leanne, everyone. Yay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. So, playtime. I have prepped as much as I could. Quite a few things prepped for different products from these releases. And you can help me decide what I start with, what I use, and so on. I've left a little room for some input, so hopefully we'll do that too. Favorite pajamas. Listen, there's some great pajamas out there. What is the one that Kristina always gives me from? I can't remember the brand.
Are those the overall
expensive.
ones?
No, okay. No. I can't remember what it's called. It's expensive. I don't get expensive ones. I get cheap ones. Sometime I'll find links and I'll share them with you. But they last forever. I don't wear the tops. I wear the bottoms. I don't know. I wear sweatshirts on top instead. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so it is a Concord and 9th Kristina release. If you know, in case you don't know, Kristina Werner has her own line of products, and it's sold on Concord and 9th's website. They distribute it, they sell it, so you can buy both Concord and 9th and Kristina Werner on their website. You can also get both at Simon Says Stamp. Now, because it is Concord and 9th's 11th birthday, they actually have a free gift right now with a $75 purchase. Mike, can you put up that image? There it is. So you can get this Bird Watch Inlay Die for free when you spend $75. I tested it this morning. The way it works is you just fill your cart with $75 and it automatically shows up in your cart for $0. So it's a great die. I do have something planned with it, and you guys can help me decide if I start with that or move on something else. All right? Okay, that's good. And then, as always, Concord and 9th has free U.S. shipping with orders of $125 or more. Okay, so I will be using Concord and 9th and Kristina Werner, mixing and separate, so I've got a lot planned. I have no idea if I'll get through all my ideas today. If I don't, it'll probably be a longer live if I can handle it. If I don't, I might go live tomorrow afternoon to do more. So I will tell you as I'm going some of the things that I have planned, so in case you want to shop today, before tomorrow, you could do that. And listen, if you don't want to shop, everything I show today is something that can be done with other products. And I always share that as we go. Somebody was asking who made the Vespa die that I showed in the live. It was Altnu in their newest release. If you check out my last live, it is mentioned in my last live. That was on the 6th. Yeah. Okay. Hello from New Zealand. I want to be in New Zealand. I want to be in Florida. I want to be in Arizona. New Jersey, I'll take it. Really, I just like being places. Okay. All right. Okay. Hi, Mary. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is show you the free gift first. And one of the things, yeah, Sundays, Patty, I'm with you. Sunday is my favorite day to go live. I don't get to always do it, but I'm doing it this Sunday, and I think I do it next Sunday too. But I'm going to ask Mike to do a poll, which will be in the chat so you can vote. Would you like me to start with a card using the free gift and then do other Concord and Ninth and Kristina Werner things, or do other things and then do the free gift card idea? The free gift card idea is pretty cool and can be done with a lot of different things. I haven't done a card like it with this kind of fun fold in a long time. But there's also an inlay technique. So Mike, can you do a poll where should I use the free gift first or later? Okay, and while you all vote on that, it'll be in the chat. I'm going to show you the free gift and then also show you the Concord and Ninth and Kristina Werner release and talk about the ideas I have and also show some other ideas, because one of the things I really like about Kristina, Greg is here. Hi, Greg. Tell the family I said hi. Tell Elia I said hello. He's got the best family. Hi, Greg. I'm glad you're here. One of the things that, if you watch my Closet Craft Chat in my Facebook group, the Share Handmade Kindness Facebook group, this morning I talked about one of the ways I talk about all the different ways I decide what companies to use in my lives. And one of the things I said that helps me to decide if I'm going to use a company's is if there's like really creative, innovative products. And I feel like both Kristina Werner and Concord and Ninth share a lot of products that are really clever. And sometimes when you look at the products, you don't actually see everything it has to offer. So talking through them, I think, is helpful. So you can decide if it's something you want to invest in or not, okay? So let's just, while you vote, I'm going to just walk through things. Let's see. I got to figure out why it's, Mike, we got to figure out this like blown out. That bothers me. It's like there's a ghost sitting right there. Anyway, this is the free gift from Concord and Ninth. It's a really good one. It is a die cut that works with inlay. So there's a lot of techniques you can do. And then it has the thanks script. I have a card prepped so we can use it pretty quickly. But it's a generous free gift, and this is with orders of $75 or more. You don't need a code. If you look at the top of my YouTube description, you'll see there is a section right at the top of the YouTube description that says special offers, and you'll see a link so that you can find out more about this. Okay, so this is the free gift. I love it, and I've got a really cool card shared. It would be a shorter card to prep because to make because I've prepped a lot of it, and it will also incorporate some of Kristina's products into it. So you can vote on that. Okay, let's look first at some of the Concord and Ninth new releases. This is the Autumn Splendor die. There's a die set, there's a stamp set that goes with it. Where did it go? Here it is. So there is the Autumn Splendor die set, and there's a stamp set. You can buy them together or separate. I agree. Greetery has great innovative products. Altanu does too. There's a lot of companies that do that kind of think creatively, and I find that very inspiring to play with. Hi, Mona. Mona, I need, email me. We were just messaging. Email me, okay? So Concord and Ninth has had 2 different sets like this, I believe, where it is like there's a background die that does kind of like a road map. So it does this piercing road map, And you then use that to figure out where to lay your die cuts so that you can come up with an arrangement like this. Now, I didn't get a chance to use the Atom Splendor die set, and I decided not to because I did a video on batch creating or mass producing using a summer version of this, another version of this, and you can apply the same techniques, okay? But I do plan to make a bunch with this because it's a good one for mass producing. Mike, there's an image called Batch. Can you pull that up? So this is a video I did months ago with a similar die set from Concord and 9th. And in that video, I show a lot about how to use these type of roadmap die sets. And I have this video linked below at the end of my supply list. So you could get some ideas there. It's a little bit different. That's more of a summer looking floral. I think that's the primrose. This is more of an autumn look, but you can get an idea of how well it'll work. So it's a fall version. They have a holiday, like a Christmassy kind of version. So I decided to skip it because I've got that video of something similar, and you could just kind of do the same thing. But I do want to use it at some point. Okay, you can come back here. So that's the Autumn Splendor. Okay, next up from Concord and 9th. This is one, these two. I didn't plan to use these today because I don't know. I don't know that I'm ready for Halloween just yet. I know a lot of people are, but maybe I'm not. This is the Pumpkin Prince, which really isn't Halloween. It's all fall. But it's this really detailed looking die that you can make an impression with or you can cut with. And then you can also cut this piece to fill in. So you can do die cut inlay. Then I love this frame. I might use it today. So this is a frame that just does a faux stitch frame. It doesn't cut the outside edge or the inside edge. So you can just do it onto a plain piece of cardstock and have that faux print, that faux stitching print, which you could use all year long. That's not like a fall looking theme. But there's also all of these things to make the fancy kind of pumpkins or just plain pumpkins. All right. There's also this detailed thank you that is really nice. And there's the little dies to fill in the inlay. And then over here we have the coordinating stamp set. It's sold separately or together. And you can do like different patterns on the different pumpkins. Okay. Mike, did I give you one that's called Pumpkins?
Yeah. And 59% said start with the freebie.
Okay, we'll start with the freebie. Okay. And if you aren't interested in the freebie, there are tips for inlay and a fun fold-out pop-up card, so just stick with it. There we go. So there's some examples. That is from the Concord and 9th website. They're always generous and say that I can share those here, so I thought I would show it. All right. Yeah, Greg said, don't tell Christopher Allen I'm not ready for Halloween. Christopher loves Halloween. There are several that love Halloween. I do too. My kids haven't started school yet. I guess that's the reason I'm not there yet. Okay, this is the Rustic Bouquet die. I didn't think I had the stamp set, so I didn't use it, but then I found it. So this is the Rustic Bouquet die set. It has these beautiful layered florals and this nice like wheat and these fall kind of foliage. Then there's the watering can that you can put the flowers in, or you could use it separately or put other flowers in it. There is this die that cuts like a doily kind of thing for the watering can to sit on, and then there's a stamp that adds the details. So you can get an image, or you can get stamped image and die cut combo here. Isn't that great? I like Halloween too. I think it's fun. I don't make a lot of Halloween cards, but I will be later this week. Okay, so this is the Rustic Bouquet die. I think this is a great one. There's also like a little circle or like an oval spot on the watering can with different sentiments that fit in it. Okay, Mike, I gave you an image called Rustic. Mm-hmm. I think this is a great set that could be used in many different ways. You can do non fall too. Here are some images from Concord and 9th. You can see different looks from that. I think it's beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. And by the way, the images that I'm showing are from Concord and 9th's website. All you have to do is go to their product page and you will see all of those examples, like tons of examples from them. Hi, Sika. I miss you, Sika. I just sent you something about travel, of course. Okay, this is the Prairie Wheat card front die. I really wanted to use this, but I didn't get a chance to. I plan to use this for making a bunch of fall cards. I just think it's really cool, and there are so many techniques you can do with inlay, which I'll talk about when we do our first card. So the inlay die you can do just as a background die, maybe tone on tone, but you can also inlay different colors. And this cuts a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch panel. Mike, did I give you a Prairie image? I think this is cool. It's very different than anything else. Be great for masculine cards. Isn't that cool? So that's the Prairie Wheat card front die. Now, for those of you who love Halloween, we have the Spooky Alley die set and stamp set. And this has like a spooky house, but what's even better is it has these little like trick-or-treaters, including like a dinosaur, like a blow-up dinosaur, like a cat, little ghosts, a monster, there's a moon, there's a zombie, little bats, all of these things to create a nice scene, and then great sentiments like creep it real, happy spooky season, have a spooktacular day, a bunch of fun sentiments. Now, I didn't get to, here's what you can create with it. Look at the dinosaur with the little trick-or-treat bag, come on, and the monster, and then the little cat, and look at a mummy, not a zombie, a mummy. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That is so cute. Now, I knew I wasn't going to get to use this, and yes, you're right, the Prairie Wheat would work for peacock. My friend Betsy, who I talk a lot about on live, she lives local to me. She made a couple cards with these, and she dropped them off so I could show them to you. Now, Betsy Green, I don't know if she's here, but she's a fantastic card maker. I talk about her stuff a lot. She's got a great graphic look, a little more modern, I guess, with bold, unique color choices. She's been a guest on my live, but I have her linked, her Instagram account linked at the bottom of my supply list below, so you can see more of hers. She dropped these cards off that she made last night with this Spook Alley die set. Look at this. She did a fun like pop-up card, and I love how dark it is. And it flattens to go into an envelope. This uses the shadow box die set to create the shadow box from Concord and 9th, which I'll be using later. Oh, good. Betsy is here. Oh, good. Betsy's here. And look at that great card. This would be fun if you put like maybe some black glitter cardstock into it too. I just love it. And look at how that fits nicely on the little path leading up to it. Not a complicated card to make, and it has so much impression, such a good impression it makes. It flattens nicely, but then it pops up. I'll talk about those shadow box dies later on. Then this one is super cute. Look at, she's got the little ghosts and the mummy, and watch. It opens up to create this whole scene. And here are some pumpkins, which are from a die set I'm going to show you in a moment. But look at that. Isn't that fantastic? I love it. So I know Betsy put this one on her Instagram account today, so you can get a closer look at it. Again, that's linked in my YouTube description below. Yeah, the cards do glow. Aren't they great? So these use the Spook Alley dies and stamp set from Concord and 9th, and I just think they're fun. And I like how she kept the houses like darker too, so that the little kids and the pumpkins and the moon would stand out. And of course the sentiments. So it's a really cool card. Isn't that fun? So those are from Betsy Green. Betsy, thank you. You know I'll spoil you later. She's a great friend and so talented. Okay, Next is the Happy Phrases stamp set and die set. Now, I didn't get the stamp set, but I got the dies. I think it was an accident. But it's filled, the stamp set is filled with all of these great sentiments. Just a nice mix of things. And then the die set is the coordinating dies. Mike, I gave you Happy Phrases images. Can you show those?
Yeah.
Hi, Andrea. There are some of the images from the Happy Phrases stamp set. I love that you're so kind and you mean the world to me. And you are my happy place. I love that too. And then there's another one, right? I think, Mike?
Yeah.
There's the stamp set and coordinating dies. All right. So that is the Happy Phrases. Okay, some people are asking about this card from Betsy. Betsy, you might have to come on my channel because she doesn't do videos. She doesn't have a YouTube channel. So maybe I have her come do this on our channel. This is, when you fold it out, it's 11 by 4.5, but then it folds to 4 1/4 by 5.5. What do you think? Should I drag Betsy on the channel? I know these bushes here are from a die set I'm about to show you. So maybe I beg Betsy to come over and make this on my channel with me. Let me know what you think. What would be fun is for her to make this card, and I use some of the same products to make like a spring version. What do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, just a few more things from Concord and Ninth, and then we'll start playing. Let's see. This is the, hold on. Yeah, okay. This is the Autumn Lane stamp set. And then there is this die set. Ignore this side over here. This is the Autumn Lane die set. It makes a house, it makes trees, stamped images, and things to go along with it. And it is, let me get something to cover it up. It is this set right here, okay? It has coordinating dies also for some of the sentiments here, and this nice arch, which you'll see me use today. Lots of different things here with the simple house. Now, Concord and Ninth has other house die sets. I like this one because it's very simple. So if you don't want to spend as much time layering, I think it's a great one. I will be using this on 2 cards, hopefully today. Then there is the stamp set with some great sentiments. There are these arch sentiments that fit on this arch die. But then these are like patterns that you can stamp on the trees. So these are trees, there's the trunks for the trees, and you can stamp the patterns on the trees. So I'll be showing that today, okay? So that's the Autumn Lane stamp set and die set. We'll be using that today. And another one that I'll use with it is, I think this is the last of the Concord and Ninth. Yeah. This side. This set over here is the Countryside dies. And they're the dies that are used to create this scene, which work with the stencils that create the scene. So this is what the stencils create. And then the dies allows you to create a scene like this. Okay? Then there is a stamp set that you can use to add even more to it. So this is the Countryside Stencils, Stamps, and Dies. You can buy them separate or together. I will be using them on one of my cards today. I'm going to create one that gives you kind of like this little, let's see, countryside scene, like you see here. But then I'm going to combine it with the Autumn Lane to do a like fall barn scene. Okay, but there are many ways you can use this. Even though there's a barn image in it, you can change it up. So I think I will probably start with those 2 cards after I do the free gift. So that is the Countryside collection. Now Kristina's got some great ones too. This is the Easy Repeat Light Linen Background Stamp. I'll be using this a few times today. You know, I love a background stamp that gives you some texture. And this one is a good one. You can easily stamp it and then shift it up and stamp it again to create a continuous background if you like to make bigger cards. That's why she calls it easy repeat. But it's a nice linen texture, and I have a couple things planned with this. I'm a big fan of anything that gives you either faux texture or real texture that can be used on a lot of things, and this is a good example. Oh, I'll show you in a second. Okay, this is the Big Leaves and Stems die set. It creates these nice leaf shapes, very clean looking, and then the little stems to go with it. And Betsy, who helps Kristina with her line, created this card. And you can see in the background is that light linen background stamp that I just showed you. And then the bold leaves. And I love that they did these in like non-traditional colors. It's fantastic. Mike, do we also have Big Leaves example from Kristina? Okay, this is from Kristina. I love this. This would be a great way to use up some of your pattern papers to make leaves like this. Simple card to make, right? Now on her, she used cardstock and she used a stencil, a dot stencil. I'm going to show you in a moment. And she did some offset stenciling over her leaves using matching color ink and then also white pigment ink. But you can see you could use this with little scraps, maybe your alcohol ink backgrounds or other stencils or pattern papers. That's a great card, and that one's by Kristina, and that's over on the website for this product. So that is the Big Leaves and Stems. Is that the only one I gave you?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, here we go. This is the Leaf Flow Stencil Pack. You know, if you've watched my lives, that I'm a big fan of Kristina's stencils because they are huge. They're big enough to do a full sheet of cardstock, or sorry, half a sheet of cardstock, or 2 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch panels, or you could do like 5 by 7 or slimline. So I love that her stencils are big. So this Leaf Flow Stencil Pack has the one that is kind of everything, which I will use today. Then there are the layering stencils so that you can do multicolor if you want to. You could also do the layering stencils to make this multicolor and then put this one on top to do like a clear glaze over all of it. Mike, do you have Leaf Flow examples? Yeah, there's one of Kristina's examples. There she did inking over a craft cardstock. That's probably Concord and 9th wheat. And very simple but stunning. There's another one. This is one of my favorite cards from Kristina. Look at that. She just did little squares of different colors of cardstock, glued them together in that position, and then used the main Leaf Flow stencil with white pigment ink on top. I love that. I think that's just beautiful. Here's one that Betsy made. Look at this. She used the main stencil, the one that has all of the leaves in it, and then she did multiple colors of like a glaze, it looks like, over top, and made a circular card. Betsy, if you're here, tell us what you used for that glaze. But look at how it just shines. Here's another from Betsy, where she used the individual stencils to get multiple colors. Isn't that beautiful? Same stencil set, completely different looks. And then this one, she used it as a like kind of a wave look. So she did blues on here. And then the dots are texture. Same dot stencil that Kristina used on her leaves. Betsy used here in just different sections. Just like didn't completely cover it, so it's not too overwhelming. I love this card. I might have to keep it. Betsy, sorry. Isn't that beautiful? I bet money she used Altenew Shimmer Relief Paste for the dots, or maybe Hero Art's Pearl Paste. It's got a pearl shine to it that's just beautiful. But isn't that neat? That's all using the Leaf Flow stencil set. So pretty. Mike, if you see Betsy reply with what she used on this, you can pin it. Like put it on the screen so people can see. Let's talk about that dot stencil. Thank you, Betsy, for letting me share those. I love you. This is the dot stencil. It's called the half-tone texture.
What were you looking for an answer about?
Oh, never mind. Betsy said she used Simon Hurley Lunar Paste for those leaves. Simon Hurley Lunar Paste. Yes, Betsy has an Instagram page. It's linked at the bottom of my YouTube description below. She's a good human. Concord and 9th inks are sponge. Okay, what is the large? Oh, the large magnetic sheet is from Lawn Fawn. I believe I have it linked below or linked on my live page. If you go to the top of my YouTube description, there's a link with the word live in it. If you go there, you'll see it on that list. Okay, this is the halftone texture stencil. This is creates like a dot pattern, like an uneven kind of dot pattern. I love this. I'll be using it a couple ways today. This is what Kristina did to add texture to her leaves, and what Betsy used to add those white pearly dots on the wave card I just showed you. All right, so this is the halftone texture die or stencil. I love it. This is just one you can add texture with a dry emboss or with dry embossing. A lot of different things you can do with it. Yeah, Betsy, happy anniversary. She does need a YouTube channel. I'm always trying. One of these days I'll get her. Thankful dies. Let me see. I don't see the coordinating stamp set for this. I don't know if I got it. I might not have gotten it. This is the Thankful die set. I believe there is a stamp set that coordinates, but I don't think I got it, with some thankful sentiments from Kristina. Yeah, I don't think I got it. Hold on. Yeah, I didn't get it. But I didn't even notice that I didn't get the sentiments because I love this big thankful and the shadow. And then like the other styles of thankful. And this whole thankful, all these letters come out are connected, so you don't have to deal with them separately. And I will be using that on my first card. But I am crazy about that thankful. In fact, I've already started die cutting and gluing together. Cami helped me do these so that I can have them ready to glue together. They're already stacked, and all I have to do is put ink on the top layer to match whatever my card is. So I have these all ready to go. I'm crazy about this. You're going to see me use it a lot. Yeah, this is Kristina's handwriting. She's so talented. Here is the card that Betsy did using it. She didn't even use the shadow on that. And I'm hoping to have time to use it today. Okay, so that is the Thankful die, and there is a stamp set, but I don't have it. Okay, next is from Kristina. There's only a couple more. This is the Calm Canopy. There is a stamp set and die set. This creates like great silhouette images that work well like over an ink blended background. And there are dies that coordinate with the sentiments, and I love that Kristina puts in the center which sentiments the dies worked with. Mike, I did one named Kristina. This card from Kristina I thought was so classic. Wonderful for a sympathy card or really anything. And that card inspired me to do several cards that I'm hoping to share in today's live, okay, with several techniques and combining some other products. So gorgeous. Kristina did a lot of cards like this one that are just fun to do on top of ink blended backgrounds. And I'm going to show you how to do those and also how to add some texture. So that is the Calm Canopy, and I'll be using that today. Great sentiments too, including lots of love, calm moments, heartfelt hugs, thinking of you, and sincerely grateful. And then one last thing, I think from Kristina, I'm hoping I got it all. This is the Courage and Strength stamp set. So it has like sending peace, find time to relax, May you find courage, strength, comfort, and breathe. And then there are dies for all of that, so you can easily cut those out. Okay, so those are the Concord and Ninth and Kristina releases. I'm showing you both because they're both available on Concord and Ninth's website. And remember, because it's Concord and Ninth's 11th year, happy birthday, my friends, they have a free gift right now, this Bird Watch Inlay. And we did a vote at the beginning, and you guys voted for me to start with the free gift. This technique that I'm going to show you, even if you're not shopping to get the free gift, I think, Mike, can you buy this?
Let me look.
Mike's going to check it out. I'm going to show you some ideas. The ideas I show you work with any inlay dies and also work with any frame kind of dies. We're going to do a fun pop-up. You'll see.
Is it the Bird Watch Inlay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you could buy this if you wanted to. It's right at the top of my supply list. How do stores package their dies? Is it done at the factory or the dies shipped and then they package them themselves? Angel, it's both. Some companies do it themselves and some get the companies to do it. It just depends. I think most get the manufacturers, but I'm not sure. So I could go on and on about.
Especially for the small ones, that'd be hard.
Yeah.
The small dies, small companies.
Well, all I can say is that these little businesses do everything they can to try to keep the costs reasonable for you all. Okay, let's start. Okay, I have some scraps of Altenew double-sided adhesive here, which is going to help me with die cut inlay. I'm going to create, like, this is kind of like, if you die cut this, there's like a puzzle to put together to create the scene. And you could make it more summery and more fallish. I'll talk about that as we go. I'm going to do kind of a fall look. And there are many ways you can use it. And I'm going to show you some of them. But first, let me show you what I did already because I've already started it. All right. What I did is I took different colors of Concord and Ninth cardstock, like this one here. This is Lakefront, which is one of my favorite colors from Concord and Ninth. And I put Altenew double-sided adhesive sheet on the cardstock. Then I flipped it over and die cut the Bird Watch Inlay die from the other side so that when I die cut it, my die cuts will have adhesive on the back. Okay, so let me run that through. Yeah, I'm glad you're all here. Thank you. I know it's a Sunday and there's a million things you can be doing, but I hope you're relaxing some. This is my favorite day to craft. Yes, if you, oh, who said that? Mike, pin that. Late Design 5030. If we don't support these small companies, they will disappear. We have lost so many already. Very true. Very true. Okay, so it all comes out stuck in my die. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but I've used this die a lot already. And this is a good thing. What I like to do is take some tape and say I want the background pieces from this color. I'll just put some tape that happens to touch those background pieces. And then I flip it over and I just start poking through the holes until I can see it starting to come out. There we go. See, I see it coming out and watch. There's all the pieces. Now I can peel each piece off, but they're all there in that color. And then I do that with all of the other colors I want in my scene. Now the colors, I will tell you the colors I used on my scene. For the background, I used Tide Pool. For the leaves, I used avocado and artichoke. For the bird, I used powder, harbor, and blueberry. For the branches and acorns, I used wheat and nutmeg. Okay, so this way, by putting tape on the back and popping it all out together, they stay connected, so you're not always searching for the pieces. If I know I need that piece, I'll go find that piece from this. And I did that with all the colors I wanted, and then it helps me to put them together. Now I did some of that to get started, but to save time. But I did the process I just showed you for all the colors I wanted to use here. Now, I need a background to put them on. And let me show you, this is the easiest way. One of my favorite ways to do inlay. There are actually two different ways. Let me show you. White cardstock. I have Altenew double-sided adhesive, which just happens to be my favorite. I'll put it on the white cardstock. I'm just going to cut this off so I can save this piece for something else. And what I'll do here is, I got this here, I want kind of a road map to put all the pieces back together on. So what I do is, this is white cardstock with adhesive on the back. I remove the release paper and stick it onto another piece of white cardstock. So it's basically 2 pieces thick with adhesive in the middle. I put my die down. Now that's really thick, right? I have 2 pieces of really heavyweight white cardstock with adhesive between. So it's not going to cut all the way through, which I want. I don't want it to cut all the way through. So let me run that through and I'll show you. I'm going to keep those extra pieces of Altenew adhesive paper. That double-sided adhesive is in the supply list, by the way. So look, it doesn't cut all the way through, but it cuts enough that I have a road map. Okay, so then I can just kind of cut along the edge here if I want to. Basically, this is a road map where I can take all of these die cuts that have the adhesive on the back already and put them on this road map. Okay, so you can see here. Another thing you could do is just use marker to color it. There's a lot of things you can do. So if you see in the background of this, I have a white piece that like I just did, but I've already started to put all the colored pieces on top. All right. I did that to save time, but I already did the background in Tide Pool. I did the bird and Powder Harbor and Blueberry. I did the beak and Sunflower, and I'm going to finish the rest right now for you to see. Okay. So the process I did for this at the beginning is how I got these little pieces. I just already started. So I have a background, a roadmap on how to put them together. So I have these leftover pieces. You could have put adhesive on the top of this white so you can stick them down onto it without the liquid adhesive, but I'm going to use the liquid adhesive for it. I'm trying to, yeah, there we go. So I'll put liquid adhesive into this area where on my white road map, the background, and then I just pop my little avocado leaf in. And all of these little die cuts I'm putting in started out like this. Now I put double-sided adhesive on the back of that, which would allow me to peel and stick, but these I didn't put double-sided adhesive on the back of, so that's why I'm using liquid adhesive. But the double-sided adhesive is really helpful for inlay. So see how I can just pop all these pieces in. And I'll have this little inlay scene. This piece goes down here, and I'm putting it onto a background that looks like this, which is just a road map. So this is the free stamp set you get with orders of $75 or more, or you could just buy it. Now there are some little acorns here. I didn't want to lose my little acorn die cuts, so I put them on tape. Remember how I showed you how you put tape on the back to keep them together? That's what I did for these. So I have them on the tape. By the way, remind me to tell you about the container when I'm done. Now I cut those little acorns from wheat cardstock from Concord and 9th, and I just did one color, but I want two-tone. So I'm coming in with a Copic marker to color the base of my little acorns with an E55 marker so that we have 2 different shades of brown. All right, now that I have those die cuts ready, I can start just filling them in like a little puzzle piece. So here we have these little acorn pieces. Oops. If you don't have a wax tip pickup tool, highly recommend. I use whatever I can grab quickly. This one is from Altenew. I usually use one from Concord and Night, or from Gina K. I have a bunch of them because I use them so much. I always want to make sure I can find one. All right, so these are my little acorns. So they just fit in like a little puzzle piece. I still have the eye to do, but I decided I'm going to do the eye with the gem. Don't let me forget. If you have problems with the die cuts staying together, like you saw me do, try putting an extra piece of white cardstock behind whatever you're die cutting, and that will force them to stay in the die when you release it. There you go. Isn't that cool? There you go. Okay, now let me show you a few things. By the way, you can make an impression with this die, and it's super cool too. Hold on, let me get an eye. I need a black. I want a little bauble, a little gemstone. Okay, these little containers. These little containers are from Concord and Ninth. And when I was teaching at the summer camp, somebody mentioned that they keep their little die cut pieces in these containers. And Concord and Ninth sells these little containers, and I got a bunch of them. And they're great for keeping little die cuts in. You're gonna see me use these a lot today. Some people keep their little gems and sequins in it. I use them for little die cuts as I'm prepping so I don't lose them. These are from Concord and Ninth. They're embellishment containers, and I have them linked in my supply list below. Okay, so there I have a little eye. Now, you can see that the die cuts a little frame around the outside edge. What I'm going to do is cut along the inside edge, right outside of all these pieces. So the die will actually be bigger than what I'm cutting because there's a little frame. I did not inlay the frame around it. I'm skipping the frame. For the card technique I'm going to do, it's nice that this piece is smaller than the window will create. And I'll talk more about that. Yeah, these little embellishments, I think it was Tammy Swanson who might have mentioned it. At camp, maybe. I'm hoping I got it right. I know she does a lot of batch die cutting like I do, and it's great for keeping little things safe. The cap, like the lid stays on nice, but it also comes out easily. Okay? They're very affordable too. Okay, so I just cut along like the little scene that we created. So if you notice, my little scene doesn't have the frame, but the die creates a frame. Okay? Isn't that scene cute? Oh, so cute. Oh, and if you wanted to make it summer, use summer colors, and where there's an acorn, put a little die cut flower on top, and then you can use it all year round. You could do like a little red poinsettias on there for winter and do like a cardinal or something. Lots of things you can do. Okay, so I have my little scene. Oh, and if you want to, you can cut more leaves or maybe more bird pieces and have that layered up so that you that it stands out. But I wanted to go for that smooth look. All right. Now let's see. Let's make this into a fun card. And this is a card design that works with basic shapes. I'll talk about it as we go. So I have a piece of blueberry cardstock. Is it blueberry? I believe it's blueberry. Yes, blueberry cardstock from Concord and Ninth. I thought it'd be nice for a background on this, for kind of a darker look. This is cut to be a little bit smaller than 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I will bring in that Kristina Werner light linen background stamp that I said I love so much. And I'm going to lay that on top. This just adds like a little textury look. I don't want it to be too bold, just a little, you know, subtle background. Now I could stamp with blueberry on blueberry and then it would be very, 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 very subtle. But I'm going to stamp with midnight so it shows up a little bit more. This is a faint stamp. Like these aren't big dots or whatever. So I feel like the darker midnight will be nice. This is just going to add the look of linen texture to the background. If you want more of the linen look, you can shift your cardstock and stamp it again. See that linen look? So if you want more, just shift your cardstock and stamp it again. Okay, so that is midnight on blueberry. I'm going to use this stamp a few times today. I'm going to put it out in front of me so when I'm looking for it later, somebody say, oh, no, actually I'll put it back here so I can find it. Okay, so we have midnight on blueberry cardstock. Now, what I need to do is take my inlay die and cut it right at the center. Again, this is cut to be slightly smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now you could measure this or whatever. I'm not going to. I'm just going to eyeball it. That looks goodish, right? Yeah, that looks good. Let me try to get it a little more straight. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to put some tape on it. I don't want it to shift. And cut it right from the center of that piece of cardstock that's slightly smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. Yeah, the texture is fun. It would be even cooler if you use clear embossing because it would give real texture, but I'm trying to save some time.
It was the Concord 9th embellishment containers, right?
Yes, what did I say?
I added them to the list.
Oh, it's on, I thought it was on, on the list. It's not on there?
It is now.
It was. I know it was. Okay, so see that that's cut there? Now I'm going to hold it in the front of my card base. This is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch white card base. I'm going to hold it right in the front. See? And then I'm going to place this. I want to cut the window in the same place on the front of my note card. So I'm going to hold this in the center and then trace that. So I'll be, well, no, I'm not. I lied. I'm just going to hold it at the front. Here we go, like this. So I'm going to hold this at the front of my note card, like that. And I will tape it so it doesn't shift. Then, oops. Then I will take the die and pop it right into the opening. And this will give me a hole at the front of my note card in the same place as the hole on the blueberry piece. Hold on. Oh, come on. Oh, my ear's throbbing. Okay, there we go. It wasn't there? I think it was there. I think it was there. I think it's right in the middle of my supply list. I need to know that I'm not losing my mind.
It is now.
It was there. I see it.
Where is it?
Under Spellbinder's Deep Stacks.
What?
See?
Hold on.
Jennifer's not losing her mind.
I don't see deep stacks either.
Yeah, whatever. It's in the supply list, like in the middle bottom. You found it, didn't you? Uh-huh.
Well, it may not have been in the...
Yes, press and seal would help to keep the pieces together. That's another thing you could do. Kathy, great idea. All right, so let's see. Let me see if it cut through. Yep. Okay, so there we go. We have our... Oh, I tore it. I wasn't careful. I've never had... Look at that. I've never had my tape tear anything. I wonder why it tore. That's weird. That tape has never torn. Hold on, let me take a look. Let me see if I could just flip it over and stamp on it again, and then you won't see the tears. Yes, I can. Okay. I got some tears on it, so I want to be careful. Oh no, I shifted somehow. See this little hair? Let me try again. Let me do all that again, because I'm a perfectionist. Give me a moment. Blueberry. Just so you can see, I mess up all the time. I can lose my mind. I lose my mind all the time. It's also 9 million degrees in here again. All right, let's see. Or maybe it's me. Okay. Keeping this, because I can use this for something else. Let's redo. I'll do it right this time. Okay, this is the best way to do it. You hold your blue cardstock, I'll stamp on it in a moment, on the front of your note card. So the blue cardstock is cut to be slightly smaller than 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches, and my note card is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. So we'll tape it there. Now I'm going to open it up, lay it on my plate, and try to center this the best I can. I want it more towards the top anyways. I think I put it too low before. So there we go. Ooh. Good enough-ish. All right. So now I'm going to run that through. You feel seen. Oh, I lose my mind all the time. It's where I live. Okay, so I'm going to be careful taking the tape off. Apparently this cardstock is sensitive. I think it's coming off on the bottom again here. Okay, so yeah, this cardstock's sensitive. Okay, let me do it one more time and show you what I do. I will figure it out. Jennifer's a perfectionist. Where did the blue go? And this is ready. Okay. All right. One more time. White note card, 4 1/4 by 5.5. Blueberry, that's a little bit smaller. When I use my tape first, usually this tape never tears. This is the Easy C tape, never tears. I'm surprised. But I'm using it on my skin first because that will remove some of the stick, and we'll hope. If it tears this time, I'm just going with it. I did try to pull it, whatever. I'm just, there we go. Okay, so there we go. Now, the die goes towards the top center. It's Sunday. It doesn't matter. You know, this is happy. Oh, you could trace it. Yeah, I'm putting my skin, my DNA on it. You can also use your sleeve. Yeah, you can also put heat on it, which releases that adhesive. There are a lot of tricks you can do. Let's see if this one works. By the way, I have my craft stacks that I use all the time to hold everything. And these are the new deep ones because I had a lot in here. I love these new deep craft stacks. And I have those linked below. Okay, let's see if this does it. I'd find if you pull it back on itself, it doesn't tear as easily, but I usually don't have any problems with this tape. Okay, that should do it. Yep. Let's... Ooh, Brianne, did you see me just poke my skin? That's not good. Okay, there we go. So there's the front. Now this isn't going to cut all the way through because it's 2 layers thick, right? I can save those pieces for something else. But there's an indentation, and if I pop my die into the indentation and run it through one more time, it'll be cut in the same spot. You can trace, but it's harder. This just seems to be the best way. So now back to this. And I will re-stamp this on top. Perfectionism. All right, Mike. Who do a panel or poll? Who else wants to get their card just right? I shouldn't say perfectionist, but you want to get your card just right. For some people, they want to get it just right because that's who they are. Like you want everything to be just right. for me, like I want it to be just right for you all and the people who are getting the card. But I'm curious, who else wants everything on their card just right? It can't be just me. Okay, I'm gonna just move this off to the side. All right, so now we have midnight stamped back on the blueberry. There is a poll. You can answer the poll. It's kind of fun to see if people are like you or different. Okay. See, this will not tear the white. I know that. I should have put my trim in there, but there we go. We have the window on the front of my card in the same place as on the blue cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that on. Yeah, I'm not a, Mike, do you think I'm a perfectionist about everything?
No.
No. See, it's just about card making. And I think that's okay in some ways, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to say it's okay because it's who I am. I don't know. Okay, so now there's a window. And remember, where's my, oh, here it is. Remember, this is going to be smaller than the window because there's that little frame that the die cuts that I didn't use. Okay, so you can see this is smaller than the window I just cut. Okay. All right, next, bear with me. By the way, I'm hoping Betsy can start making templates. Betsy also is a graphic designer, and I've hired her to help me with things. And one of them is, I'm hoping she can make templates for things like this. So you can remember, print them off and remember. People have been asking for a long time, and I am needing to do it. Okay. This is a piece of cardstock. We're going to do a fun fold here. This is a piece of cardstock that is 6 1/4 inches wide by 5 1/2 inches tall. So 6 1/4 wide by 5 1/2 tall. And we're going to score this at 2 inch and 4 inch. So 6 1/4 wide, 5 1/2 tall, and we scored at 2 and 4 inches. Yeah, templates are great, but here's the thing. I don't plan way in advance, so I couldn't have the template available at the time of the video, but I could have it done later. I'm more of a spur of the moment person. Okay, so I just accordion folded that, and you'll see that this piece out here is a little bit bigger. It's okay. Okay, now what I'll do is this bigger flap here, it's a little bit bigger than the other. I'll put adhesive on the back of, just on that flap, and I'll put that on the inside of my card. Mike, can you do a poll? Well, no, I don't think so. I don't know. Is later okay for you guys? And how do I let you know when the templates are ready later? What was the last poll about?
Do you like perfection?
What did people say?
87% said yes, they like their card just right.
And here's the thing. 87% said they like their card just right. Here's the thing. People don't care. But in my mind, I feel like I want to get it just right. People don't care. Listen, I promise you, they don't care. Like, they're going to be happy with whatever you make. Okay. So, see how I glued that on the inside? Just tell you in a video. That's a good idea. Whimsical Creations. Next, I'm cutting a piece that is 3 by 4 1/4. 3 by 4 1/4. All right, and we're going to score that right down the middle at 1 1/2. Betsy, are you still here? Let's try a template. People judge, but we should ignore them if they're judging at how nice our cards are. Like, if I get a card in the mail and it's not like perfect, I love it just the same. That's handmade, not made by a machine, so I think that's great. Okay, so this is 3 by 1 1/4, and I folded it right down the center at 1 1/2. Now I'm going to put adhesive on here. I'm going to use double-sided tape just so it's faster than making it dry with liquid adhesive. So I'm going to put double-sided tape on both of the flaps. So there's one flap. This is Altenew double-sided adhesive. Really any will work. You could even use liquid adhesive, but it takes a bit more time to dry. I'm putting adhesive all along the outside of this folded piece. Okay, see that? Now, I'm going to take this one piece and cut it right down the middle to have two. It was easier than making two pieces. So there are two pieces like this. All right, now I got to remember how I did this. Hold on. Okay, now I'm going to flip this out. So see this piece? I'm going to flip it out. And right up here, I'll put one of my hinges. And then one will go on the bottom too. So I'll take the release paper off of the back. So I took the release paper off there, not both flaps, just one flap. And I'll put that folded line up against the edge. And it can be, I'm going to cut this thinner because I don't have much room up here. It can be right up against the top edge or close to it. So let me put it down and I'll show you. So see how the folded edge of that little flap goes right up against the edge of this piece folded out. And I'll do one along the bottom. These are basically supports. These are just supports, that's all it is. Yeah, people you give the cards will not notice the mistakes you made. I would argue I'm a people pleaser. And so I'm my worst critic. That's just the way it goes. Yep. Okay. So see how these two little things stick out here? Remember, you can always go back and pause these. Okay. So now, I need to remember this. Okay. So now I will remove the release paper from these sides of the flap. The top and the bottom. We're almost done. And then we can move on to another. I'm going to do the Countryside next, I think. Oh my goodness, I've already gone over an hour. Michael? Mm-hmm. Okay. So now there's adhesive on these little flaps. So I'm going to flip it like this. See them? Little guys. And then press it closed. And so you have this little, okay, so that little support's here and here. And look at that. See, Brand, can you post or put on the screen Brand's comment? She said, oh gosh, I can't read that. I've never once gotten negative feedback on a card. I think we're just judging ourselves more than we're judging our cards.
Yep.
Maybe it is. And I would never judge somebody else's card, so why am I judging my own? I don't get it. Okay? So there, look at that. Now, right in here, I'll put some adhesive and lay this right into it. So now watch what happens when the card is closed. It looks like that, and when it opens, isn't that fun? I love it, and you can see that little halo around it, that because I didn't use the frame. You've got that nice white like opening there, and it opens nicely. So if you want to do this without this die, you can use two different size rectangle dies or two different size circle dies to do this. I have a video actually using older Concord and 9th products with this type of technique at the bottom of my supply list. So I'd show lots of different ways to do this. Okay, so this type of okay. Now let's see, sentiment. There is the script sentiment that comes with it. Oh, look at that. It's just like perfect. This comes with the freebie. Remember, this is the freebie, or you can buy it. Or I could use Thankful. Oh, I kind of like that. It just like works there too. The Thankful is from Kristina's die set. The Thankful dies. And what I love is all those letters are connected, so it's one. There is a shadow, but I don't think I need the shadow. I kind of like that. But I want to make sure that I don't like get it stretched out. So what I did is when I die cut it, I kept the negative space. And I'm going to lay the negative space like right under it. Like this. Put some tape on it. Stick it on my skin first because we learned our lesson earlier. Oh, there's some of my DNA on that. Oh, that's how dry my skin is. Y'all. That's bad. Okay. Don't, Mike, you just be quiet. Okay, so now that's like a plate, like a little spot for me to place that in. Okay. Yeah, I like the script too. Either would work, but let's just do this one right now. This is the Thankful die set from Kristina Werner. This is a great set. I make thank you cards more than anything because you can always say thank you for somebody doing something or thank you just for being in my life. So I use that a lot. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there and hold my magnet on top. Now, so this is the Thankful dies. And this is the free Bird Watch Inlay Die set. I just got to hold that there for a second. Hi, Dana. Are you home? And Shelly, thank you for asking people to leave thumbs up. It helps crafters more than you know. I'm going to give that another moment. Okay, so there you have it. Things that you could add to that is any kind of shimmer pen would be fun. I would do probably shimmer on the bird so that the bird kind of stands out more than the rest of it. If you wanted dimension, you could just layer up extra leaves or extra bird die cuts. I mean, there are so many things that you can do. You could use glitter paper for some of it. All right, so let's see. Let's start peeling this off. I'm probably peeling this off too soon. My Thankful die cut will probably come up with it because I'm being too impatient, but we're going to try it. So I'm just kind of making sure it's off too soon because I'm impatient. Yeah, but that you get the idea. Like I should have let that dry longer, but that turned out good. Look at that. I like the white. I was thinking I was going to do something else, but I like it. If anything else, I would do the light blue. So it's a little more subtle, but I love that. Now, another thing you can do is stamp right here so that when they open it, there's a little sentiment here. I don't have the stamp set that goes with this, but you could do Thankful, and then in the inside there's a sentiment that says for your encouragement or for your generosity or for the memories we've made, and put that right there. And you could actually put a couple little leaf die cuts there too. All right, so there we go. I need to put more adhesive behind that. I didn't do a good job. I was trying to hurry, but you get an idea. There you can see the sparkle on the birdie. Isn't that cute? And remember, you can make this summer by putting little florals on top of that. Isn't that cute? So a little sentiment right there. Hold on. Maybe Concord and 9th has a little sentiment that would work there. No, I need to get Kristina's set. I need to get Kristina's to stamp something there. But isn't that fun? All right. Katie, I do hope to use the Lawn Fawn release soon because it's really cute. I'll let you, I'm hoping. Okay, so there we go. That is the first card. Got my deep stack clean here, ready to go. Let me put some things away here. Okay, yay. Yeah, I do need sound effects for my cards. Okay, now I'm gonna go on to, this is 2 cards at once. And they're pretty involved, but I did put a lot of prep into it to save time. This is using the 2 die sets. Autumn Lane, which is a house and trees and such, and then the Countryside collection, which is stencils, dies, and stamps. So in one of my cards, I'm going to do kind of a scene like this, a fall scene. But then I'm also going to do another one that combines these houses for more of a summer scene instead of the barn. And I'm going to hope it works. Okay, so I'm using 2 die sets here. Starting with the Countryside Stencil Pack, which creates this, and then you use the dies and stamps to bring it to life. Okay, and I'm going to hope this works. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. I have a piece of white cardstock. It's bigger than I need. It's 8.5 by 11, but I'm going to be doing 2 at once on 1 sheet of cardstock. So let's start with 1 stencil. Okay, in this stencil pack from Concord and 9th, see how this one has clouds and this one doesn't. So this stencil, the first stencil, has option 1 and option 2. So up here is the option that does clouds, and over here is this option that does no clouds. I want clouds. So I will line this up right up in the top corner of my cardstock. So it's not on the grip mat. I got to use, what are these? Magnets. I'm also going to put a little post-it note to cover this other side up. So let's put magnets. I need another big one. Okay, so that's holding that there. So now I'm going to ink up my sky. On this one, I'm going to use it as intended. Okay, so I'm going to make it like this, like a barn. On the second one, I will change it. I'm thinking I want an aqua sky. Aqua sky. Aqua sky is my favorite color from Concord and 9th. In fact, it's a very sad day because I realized I only have 1 sheet of regular aqua sky cardstock left. It's a sad day. I have to place an order tonight. Okay, so aqua sky ink. Let's take a blending brush. I'm using Pink Fresh blending brushes. I really like theirs because you can do a light amount to a heavy amount. So it's great for things like large areas or skies. So I'm going to do it kind of heavier towards the horizon, I guess, and then lighter towards the top. Okay? There we go. Then on this one, I'm going to do it as intended. So I'll do, this is one of the roof lines. Let's make the roof line mushroom, which is a dark gray. Whoa, that's juicy. That's going to seep through. I should tap my brush off first. Yep, there we go. So there is the first. Now the second one, I'm just going to rotate my cardstock and do a second one. So I am doing basically 2 cards at once. One of them is as intended, and this one is going to change it up. So I'm going to cover up that roof line of the barn, and I'm going to do the aqua sky again. Mushroom, you're going in timeout because I inked you too much. Okay. So this time I'm just doing the aqua sky. I'm going to skip the barn. Okay. And I'm going to hope what I have in mind works. Okay. So there is one. So this will be, let me write this down. This will be, where's a pen that won't smear when I'm doing this? Okay. This will be the modified. And this one will be the original with the barn. So you can see me do both at once. Barn. Hopefully you can read that. Okay. second stencil. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Hold, please. I should have numbered these beforehand. Okay, here's the second one. Now this one does the grass and the roof of the house. So we're doing the original. Hold, please. Okay. There's the original. So there is the roof and the ground. So the ground here, I'm going to do, I love a good parsley and basil. So I'm going to start with parsley, which is the lighter of the two. You could do, listen, you could do great shading with this. I'm just doing pretty much basic. So I'm going to tap off the extra ink. I'm going to go parsley up here and then just kind of fade it down. Should have done heavier at the bottom, lighter at the top for what I'm doing, but whatever. There we go. Okay. Now, same thing on the other side. Oh, I'll come back and do the roof in a moment. So put this down. I'm just doing. Okay. So I'll do parsley. This one I'm going to do lighter over the whole thing and heavier at the bottom. Oops, that was supposed to be covered there. And then heavier down here. I'm doing parsley is one of my favorite greens, and I'm so glad that it now has basil, its best friend, which is slightly darker. Okay, so there we go. I made a mess, but you get the idea. Back to this one. This is the original where I'm doing the barn. So I got to do the roof with the mushroom, but I got to be careful with that mushroom. It's loud. I'm not even going to ink up my stamp again, or my applicator. Maybe I need a little bit. I'll knock off the extra ink in the lid. There we go. It's still loud. I think that was re-inked. There we go. Okay, so this is the barn. This is going to not be the barn. I made a mess here, but you get the idea. Okay. Now stencil number 3. Oh, I'm doing them out of order. We'll do this one next. This is like the road and then the side of the barn. This is going to be the barn. So put this down first. I'm going to cover up the side of the barn. Let's do this in something much lighter than... Uh-oh. Let's do Dove. Let's do like a road color here. Okay. Oh, I don't have a big brush for this color. I'll use this one. Okay. So this is Dove. I'm going to do heavier up here to lighter coming down. Okay. And we'll do the same thing here for the road. Cover some of my messy inking. So heavier up here. This one will probably be darker because I got to cover up some of my gray or my green that accidentally got on the side. Maybe the green that peeked in here are just weeds. If it's like my house, it's weeds. Okay. There we go. Okay, then let me go back to this one. I've got the side of my barn. We're going to make our barn reddish. Let's line that back up. This is going to take a hot minute, but we'll get it done. And do know there are great examples over on the website for like how to put this together. Concord and Ninth also has videos for each of their products, so you can follow along to something that's a little bit smoother than what I'm doing. Let's do red. Okay, cranberry. I don't want this to be too bold, so I'm tapping off my ink on this top here. And then, there we go, look at that. Now these are the sides of the barn, so I'm gonna go a little bit heavier with that cranberry. Oh, that's gonna be so good. Now this one, I'm not doing the barn, so this is the front of the barn only on this one. So I might be complicating things by doing 2 at once, but you're going to end up seeing 2 different looks for this. There we go. Look at that. It needs to be darker. Hold, please. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Then grass for both the background hill. This one we're doing in basil, which is a darker green. Have I lost people, Mike? Am I making sense here that I'm doing 2 at once? You're not even paying attention, so let's see. Okay, so basil's darker. I'm gonna go darker along this. So this is like a background hill. So I'm just gonna do that heavier. Let's see. Yeah, I think I want it even heavier than that. Darker, 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 darker. Let's go with a smaller brush so I can really put a lot of ink down at once. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Now this is the modified one. What I should have done is made on the openings on this one, make that green so it's easier to cover. So I think I'm going to come in. We're just going to wing it. No, hang on. Let me explain what I'm doing. So this one's the original. This is the modified one. I want to make that barn area a little green so I have less to cover. I don't think I need to though. Hold on, let me look at my example. Yeah, I'll do a little green over it. No, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so I have 2 different backgrounds here. We have the original with the barn and then the modified. We're going to make 2 cards at once. Okay. Let me clean up a little bit. Because here's the thing, it's a collection, right? There are 3 different products that you could use for this countryside. There's the stencils, the dies, and the stamps. And if you're going to invest in that, you want to know that you can use it for other things, not just the barn scene, right? Okay, let me clean up a little bit here. Okay, now this, let's just finish this little background here. I've got some plans for it. This is the original looking, and I haven't done this yet, but we're going to do it together. Bro. I gotta find the stamp set in here. This is the Countryside stamp set. Oof. Where'd I put it? Did I bring it out? Mike, come save me. The Countryside stamp set. Sorry, guys.
No.
Oh, it fell? Oh, it fell to the bottom. Mike found it. Okay, in here are stamps that allow you to step up this background. Okay. And again, you can buy all of these pieces separately or together. Totally up to you. Okay, so this gives you texture on the barn. I'm going to stamp that in. So I used cranberry for Concord and 9th. I'm going to use cranberry from Hero Arts to stamp on top. This is a bit darker, so it'll give you more of a tone on tone. So see how there's texture on our barn now? I love it. Okay. Then, now there are a lot of things here. There's birds, there's like There's even the, what do you call that little thing that you stamp on the top, or put on the top?
Weather vane?
Weather vane. Where's the stamp set, or the picture? There's a weather vane stamp. Let's see if I can show it to you. Hold on, give me a second. There's like a little weather vane. You can, is that what it is? Right there? Like the rooster weather vane? Then there are like little rocks and things that you can put in the grass, little grass bundles, trees, the birds. There's a lot. I'm not going to go there today because it'll take quite a bit of time. But let's just create a little scene here. So there are lots of things that you can add to this. Let me see. I have lots of pieces here. You can see my little containers from Concord and 9th. I have my Spellbinders craft stacks, and then I actually have a waffle flower grip mat in here that helps to hold the die cuts from sliding around. So let's start creating a little scene. I'm going to cut this down and go from there. I'm cutting this to be, no, I'm just going to cut it. So it cuts down to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I will end up cutting it to be a little bit smaller in a bit, but look how pretty that is. Okay, now let's start putting this together. In here we have, let's do the tree. So up in the corner you can do like a little tree. This is from the die set. Oops, in the coordinating Countryside die set. So it's to add on top. If you wanted to, you could use the dies to create a mask and ink up all that so that you have still a flat piece, but I want to add the texture. There is a tree trunk to go with this, which I'm going to glue in right here. That. And then the second layer of tree. These are all Concord and 9th cardstock colors. Then I did like a bush for the bottom corner, and this one I did in, this is artichoke, for another green shade. I could have done the same fall colors, or like done a burning bush and all reds, but I got this down here. And then, if you want to, got my little container here, you could add these little flowers from the Countryside die set. So let's say, let's put some little guys. I cut these from Brickyard cardstock, which is one of my favorite reds. I just love this color. I thought it'd be fun to have like some more reds down here. There's a bunch in this die. It creates little clusters. It has little like 2-piece ones. There's even individuals, and that way you can easily and quickly add little flowers. And then this is something that you can also use with other die sets, these little flowers. It's one die. Let me show you the die. It's a great one. It's this one die that cuts all of those different options. So there's different clusters, and then pairs, and then an individual. Let me find some individual ones. Did I cut any individual? Yeah, I did. So I'll put an individual here. So you can easily use those. And I'm going to use, if I have time on a card later, I'll use the individuals to make little bushes on a different card. So see how you got these little flowers with details? Isn't that fun? And you don't need to have the inked part, the background. You could use these dies to create a scene without that. All right, now there are these, like to have a fence over here. So let's put a little fence down. So I'm doing like a fall barn scene here, but after that, I'm going to show you a non-fall, or non-barn scene. Yes, I'm going to add the stuff to the barn. Of course I am. So there's this little barn door. It's the cutest little thing. And I'll put it on my barn door. And that's going to get added to my barn. Look at this. Of course we'll add door and windows. So there's the door. And then little windows. Droop, droop. All of these little dies are included in the die set. There's one die that cuts these little windows. Am I the only one who makes sounds when you put little die cuts down? Looks like a face right now. It's like a Minecraft face. Then we'll do 3 little windows over here. 1, 2, 3. See? Look at him. I should have made my barn door darker. I cut my barn door from Brickyard. It should have been cut from Cranberry, but you know.
What size card is that?
This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But I'm going to step it up in a minute. I can't just leave it like this. That's just not what Jennifer McGuire does. Jennifer McGuire does too much. Jennifer's going to have to go live tomorrow because I'm taking too long today. Okay, so there we go. See, isn't that cute? Now, to make it fallish, there are little hay stacks, or no, hay bundles to put along the fence. There are actually more die cuts to add to the fence for more texture, but I'm putting the hay on there, or these stalks, whatever. So it's going to cover it anyways. So I'll put those there. Look at this. Now, there are, you can make these like little bushes around the house, but I think you can also do little trees. I think I'm going to use these. These are little sheep because they're so cute. We're going to do, I think we're just going to do 1 sheep. We're going to put them right here. And I cut his body from felt, white felt, so that he's fuzzy. Don't laugh at me, Mike. See, I think he needs to be right here because he's cute. There's my little felt sheep. Put him right by the side of the road. Then, this is the coolest thing. There are these dies. This is the background for your pumpkins. This is the front. This is the background. This is the front. You cut the background from brown, then glue the front that you cut from orange, and you end up with these tiny little pumpkins that have brown stalks and orange on the front. Isn't that cute? So now, let's see, I'm going to start gluing some of these out here. First of all, some of these little ones way out in the side here. Oh, I love it. And then we'll do some bigger ones up here. Right there. And then we'll do like one of the shorter ones right in front. Look at that. Okay, then there's a little one I'll put like on the side, on the front of this one. Look at that. Isn't that the cutest little thing? Then we need some along in front of here. Put some here. I mean, come on. We need more. One right there. Now you can decorate this in any ways that you want. But look at, come on. Do you love it, Mike?
I love it.
Mike loves it. And I have more sheep. Okay. So, let's see, what's next? Oh, there is a little stamp for like a fence on that back hill. I want something on that back hill, so I think I'll use this. Then we're gonna step this up because that's what I do. Yeah, it is cute. And watch, I'm gonna make a non-fall scene in just a moment. I'm gonna stamp this along the hill, like that. And then We'll do the little, is it a weather vane? I don't know. Does it go on the top here? I hope so. Oh dear, it's so tiny, I can't tell. Let's hope I stamp it right. Right there. Stop. Don't move. I think that goes there. And then how about some little blackbirds? We'll do one like, no, I don't want any crows. You stay away, crows. I don't want you. Okay. You could do the crows or the whatever they are, but I'm not going to. Okay, let's see. Mike, look how cute that is. I haven't even thought about his sentiment. Let's see. Sentiment clearly is going to go on the top. So thankful for this little life. You make everything better. I hope you find some joy today. Okay. Oh, it's going to be a good day. That's a good one too. But look at how this just fits, right? I'm not going to do it. Wait, I am. Put it right there. And you'll see what I'm going to do in a moment. I'm going to put it right there. Are you laughing at me?
No.
No. Okay. I laugh at me.
Not laughing. No laughing.
Hmm?
No laughing.
No laughing? Look at that. I mean, come on, Mike. And then remember, uh-oh, come on. There we go. Then there are little pebbles and grass that you can stamp. Like, these can be little pebbles in the road to add texture. Let's do a few of those. And then there are little things you can add in the trees. You could put little, you could do little apples in the tree. You could do all kinds of things. But I'm just going to do this. I'm going to stamp these in, do mushroom. Be very careful. Do mushroom. There we go. Oh. So fun. Just give me a second. I'm going to do something that's going to, can you all guess what I'm going to do that's going to make everybody's heart go kaboom? Can you, what makes everybody freak out, Mike?
You're gonna cut a stamp.
I'm going to cut a stamp. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to cut this one so I have more. Everybody freaks out when I cut a stamp, but it helps. You get more from it. Cut it twice. Oh, okay. One goes there. I can always put them back as intended. You can always just use a marker to do this. I need something clear. Clear packaging. I can just, that will hold the stamp here while I lift it up. Close it. Stamps are stuck there instead of to my card. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Perfect. Okay. There are other little things in here. There's grass texture for the trees. I'm going to skip that. But there's lots that you can add to it. I do feel like the tree needs some zhuzh, so I'll probably stamp. No, I need to do it now, because I'm going to do something to this that makes it stuck. So I'll just do this. I'll stamp a few of these. Isn't this fun? Okay, we'll use cranberry because I got it right here. And then, there we go. Oh, I just dropped that on the side there. Let's see, do a few more. Isn't the tree texture fun? See, it needed it. Let go, okay. And then we'll do one more. We'll do one over here. I lied, we're gonna do one here too. Okay. Isn't it great? So great. And remember, if you spend $75, you get that other set for free. Come on, stamp in there. There we go. Look at that. And there are more things you could stamp, but look at that. Isn't that fun? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Where's the backing? Well, I'll just do this. Oh, I found it. Okay. Let me clean off my hands to make sure I don't have anything on them. Now, I thought it'd be fun, instead of just putting this on a card base, to do a shadow box around it. Last month, I haven't gotten a chance to share it in a video, Concord and 9th came out with the shadow box base die set. Now you can do this without the die set, but boy, does this make it easier. So in this, you have a few pieces. You have a thankful, or a thanks and a hello die. Hold on, I'm throwing things around. A thanks and a hello die, and then a frame. But what I really like here is this die cuts 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then this cuts an inside frame that's about a 1/2 inch smaller on each side. And then there are these 2 dies that create accordion fold pieces. So I'm using that to add a shadow box to this. Now, there are a few ways you can do shadow box, all right? I'm going to do a shadow box different than how it was intended, okay? So before I do it in the unintended way, I'm going to show you how to do it as it was intended, okay? So forget my card right now. Here are the shadow box die cuts. I did 2 of the long, 2 of the short, and then here is the frame, okay? And if you want to, if you don't want a rectangle frame, if you want an oval, don't use this. Just use this with whatever shape you want. Remember Betsy's card? Let me show you. Betsy's card here was done with the same die set, but she used an oval at the center, okay? So, this is the easiest shadow box die set ever. What you can do, you cut this, right? And you'll flip it over. And you have these pieces with, there's score lines that are the die makes. And you just accordion fold along them. So you have little pieces like this. Now it's up to you. There are a few different ways you can put this together. For Betsy's, I'll show you what she did. She took one of these, put glue along one flap, and then she glued it to the side like this. I'm going to show you another way in a moment, okay? So there's one over here, then one on the other side. And this goes over here. So you're just putting accordions, the tall accordion folds on the side. And then you glue that onto a card base and it pops up. Okay? And that's what she did here. You can see her little accordion folds on the sides there. So this just gets glued to a card base. I'll go ahead and do it so you can see. I'll just get a piece of cardstock here. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Put glue along one, glue along the other. Glue onto your card base. And there you have your shadow pop-up, okay? Now, the reason there are these two is if you prefer to have that accordion fold along the top and the bottom instead. Like if you're doing a side full card, you could do that, but you don't really need them. You could either do the accordion fold up here and here or on the sides, but that's why they give you these. If you make A6 card, you can still use the supports. You just cut your own frame for the front. In fact, my second card with this, I'm going to make into an A6, which you'll see, okay? So that's how the shadow box is meant to be done. What I'm going to do, so you can see that's what Betsy did here, just like I showed you. But instead of cutting the rectangle from the front, she cut an oval. Now, what I'm going to do is a little different. Because see here, you see how you can see that white right there? Which I didn't want to glue. Here, let me tear this off so I can show you. So, to explain it. I didn't want to glue this to the front because see how that white there covers part of my background. I want it to not cover some of the background. So let me show you. This is the way I like to do the shadow box. It's a little more involved, well, not really involved, but there's a little more to it, and I'll show you. This background is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Why do you say no? What's wrong? Okay.
Maybe at cutting.
Oh, cutting stamps. Okay. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to cut it to be just a bit smaller. So it's like 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Yeah. So it's just a bit smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay. Now I have my. I thought I cut them. Oh, they fell out. Okay. Let go. Stop. I have my side accordion fold. This is from the Concord and 9th Shadow Box die set. And just so it's a little more forgiving, this is 5 1/2 long. I'm just going to cut a little bit off. Just so it's a little more forgiving. Here's my other side one, 4 1/4. Or I'm sorry, it's 5 1/2 inches long. This is from the Shadow Box die set. I'm going to cut it a little bit short to make it easier. Okay, now, last time I put the glue right on here and stuck it down, but I don't want to cover up the edges. So instead, I'm going to put the glue on the inside of the flap. So the glue is along that inside flap, and I'm going to tuck that behind my background. Okay, so it's glued to the back. See? And I'll do the same thing on the other side. So instead of gluing these little flaps on the front of my project, I'm gluing it on the back. So see how it's like this, but then when it pops up, you'll be able to see. Yeah, here's the thing. A lot of times you see me do little accordion fold pieces. This die makes it easy because you don't have to measure. And say you don't want something this big, I'm just showing you. You can cut a little bit off, and there's like a little accordion fold pop-up for anything you want. This die's nice. This die set's nice, okay? So there's the sides. Now, I really want to make sure, you could just from here glue your frame on top. But this is optional, but I really want to make sure mine pops up evenly all around the front. So I'm going to actually use the top and bottom accordion folds too. I'm going to use both. So I'll cut this shorter because it won't fit if I do bigger. So I cut it shorter. I cut about 1 inch off, 1 1/4. Put glue on the inside flap and tuck it at the top center. So you can see they all fit there. See it? And I'll do one along the bottom too. Cut some off. You don't need to do this, the top, bottom, and sides. I'm just doing it because I think it'll give it a better, more even pop-up. But it's up to you. So see what I got here? Okay, now, you could just put a frame on top. I thought it would be fun to do acetate too. Why not? I swear I cut a piece of acetate. Maybe I didn't. Let me find some. I have some Pink Fresh acetate here. I really like their acetate. It comes with the film on the side so that it doesn't get like dinged up as you're creating. So I cut it to be slightly smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I'll remove the film from both sides. You could use any acetate here that's kind of heavyweight. I just think this will give it like a framed shadow box look. So I have the frame here. Remember, it could be an oval if you wanted. I'll put glue on the back of the frame and put the acetate on it. I actually think I'm going to put sandwich it. I've got another frame here. So I will put glue on the front of this frame and put it on the back. So you have a frame, an acetate, and frame, just so it's nice and finished looking. I don't have to worry about putting liquid adhesive on acetate. But see how I just have a frame here. So now this can get glued onto the front. So I don't recommend liquid adhesive here for this step. The reason I don't is because it's going to take a little more effort, but it's what I'm going to do here just because I think it'll help. So I don't know. I'll put liquid adhesive on all of this. All of the top flaps, and then lay this on it. So you just kind of tuck those in, and then you line up your frame with the background. The shadow box is in the supply list below. I'm going to put this on here. Give it a moment. I want that to stay. In fact, there we go. Something really heavy on it, okay? The shadow box die set is in the supply list below. It's from Concord and 9th, okay? So you can put anything in there. And there are multiple ways. If you want to see the simpler version, they have a video. I showed it, but they have a video below. But I really like where you wrap it around so that that inside seam isn't covered, okay? So now look at, see? And you can see in there, you've got that nice seam. And you just glue that to a card base. So this will flatten to fit in an envelope, see? Flattens to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it pops up to give you lots of dimension when you take it out of the envelope. And you can peek in there and see all of the seam. Isn't that fun? So much fun. And then you just glue that to a card base. And remember, Betsy used the same, but cut an oval. She didn't put the top and bottom, but you can see you don't really need it. And it flattens nicely. Isn't that fun? So that is the Countryside collection from Concord and 9th, along with the Shadow Box die set, which is an older product, but it's like a good staple. I'll be using it more. I've got a lot of ideas for it. And it makes it easier than having to, do the math on your own. So Betsy Green made this one. Okay, so that is like how the Countryside die was intended. Now I'm going to change it up. Where's the other background I made? Ruh-roh. Here it is. Remember this one I made earlier? All right. Is Lila here? Or is she still at Keena's?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to trim this down. Remember this one I just didn't ink up the barn. What I should have done is wherever the barn is, just ink it with green, because then it'd be less to cover up. But we'll go with this. I thought with this, I would use this house use houses from the autumn lane instead of the barn. So if you don't want a barn scene and you don't want a fall scene, you can use something else. So I'm going to put houses here. Now I did a bunch of prep. Oh, I didn't mean to cut that. Shoot. Darn it. I didn't mean to cut this. I was going to make it a longer card. I was going to make it A6. Darn, darn, darn. Oh well. Okay, so I have 2 houses here, and I'm going to do one like over it there. Let's do one here and one here. And then we'll put like a little bush to cover some of it. So I did like a little thing here. Hang on. Okay, so let's start putting this together. I have a white house. This is from the autumn lane. I should have assembled these houses before, but here we go. One of them will be white. One of them will be the this like light brown, like a sand color. Yeah, Betsy nailed those Halloween cards. She does a lot of great cards. I really recommend following her. She's really talented. In here I have my little tiny pieces. So like my little accents for the house. I might not do all these now. Well, maybe I should so I can show you, because on my second card I've got them done. Let's see. Now I need the doors and the windows. So what I like to do is flip it over. Well, actually I don't need to do that now. I can go ahead and glue it onto my card. So I'm thinking like that and that. Like that. And I'll cover the rest, don't worry. Okay? So I'm thinking like that. I will put like that. Okay. Let's glue this guy down first. And I'm going to also put like a little bush behind him. So he's going to go like that. And then this guy's going to go next to him. And we're going to cover up that little barn area. We have these little bush die cuts from the Countryside die set that I'll tuck behind to cover up the rest of the white. That should have been the darker. Hang on. Like that. And then this gets like a little offset house. There we go. See? I need a little bit of, let's do a little bush over here too. There. And then we'll do one right here. So we've got these little die cuts for little bushes, and then we'll fill in the windows and the door. Yeah, let's do it like there. All right, now we have steps leading up in the windows and doors. While I put this together, Mike, are there any questions? I thought I cut 2 of those. What are the questions?
Is it wine time right now?
Is it wine time? Who asked
Yes.
such a brilliant question?
Jane,
Jane who?
right there.
Jane Wallmeyer, I believe it is. Are you getting me some? Because I know
have
Mike
questions.
won't. Will you get me wine, Mike?
Yes, I will.
Mike will get me wine. I don't think I have enough steps.
Somebody asked about what you put on top of the card as a weight. I think that's on
Oh,
your list.
that... Who's here?
I'll check.
This is Share Handmade Kindness paperweight from Bossy Jossie. I think she still sells them. I gave her permission. I actually asked her if she would put my logo on some like paperweights that are great for putting on your die cuts while you're waiting for them to dry. And there's different sizes. I either use that or magnets. It just depends. What is Betsy? Betsy is Betsy Green. And I have a link to her YouTube, or sorry, to her Instagram account at the bottom of my supply list below. Highly recommend following her. She does not have a YouTube channel yet, but I'm working on her. In the meantime, she'll probably come, you know, do some crafting at my place. Okay, let's do like a little fence. Do like a little white fence here. This is from the Autumn Lane house set. I have another card planned for this, but I don't know that I'll have time. Yes, I'm on antibiotics. This will go here, but I need a tree. Now there is the tree. These are these trees that I have a card planned, but I'm not going to probably get to it today. Maybe I'll go live tomorrow. But I'm not going to use these kind of modern shaped trees. Instead, I'll use those tree trunks, but I'm going to use this little like bush die from the Countryside set and together make a tree over here. So let's do, oh, I don't have another dark green. And we'll do both lighter green. I'll put down that. Then I've got a tree trunk. The tree trunk is from the Country Lane, or no, Autumn Lane, and the tree, these are like, they're bush dies from the Countryside. But see how I made it look like a tree, okay? Then, doop, using watermelon cardstock, I cut little hearts, because why not? Okay, Mike, are there questions? Sorry.
Do you listen to music when you craft, or what do you do?
Do I listen to music while I craft? I go through phases. Currently, I'm in a stage where I need to see movement. So I have been watching Survivor from the beginning, and there are 50 seasons, so I've got a lot of catching up to do. I'm currently on season 41. Because it's mindless, right? It doesn't require thought, and I can't watch anything sad. I feel like we don't need any help being sad in this world. Why would we watch something sad? So, traders, things like that. But if it's music, I listen to a lot of Christian music. Well, I shouldn't say a lot, but I like Ed Sheeran-y sounding stuff. Right now I'm really big into a group called Need to Breathe. That's one of my favorites. Okay, so all of these are from the Countryside set, the rest of these. So I'm changing it up to create like a different looking scene, right? I'll pull out the other one so you can see a comparison. And I love that this, oops, I forgot to put the tree trunk on. But these dies can be used for the trees or bushes, and you can use them with other scenes, right? Oh, I'll show you what Betsy used hers for, because I thought that was brilliant. There's our tree trunk. Okay, then there are cloud dies, by the way, but I need to finish my little. Now, please know there are more little die cuts, but I could spend time putting all of the little die cuts on here, or you can look at their examples on their site. Actually, I'm going to remove this one from here because I only have one of the white, and I don't want to cut another. There are a lot of examples on their site, so I don't want to spend too much time putting all these little guys together, but you'll get the idea. I listened to Queen. Oops, that's not what I wanted there. I listened to Queen because my dad used to listen to it, right, Mike?
Yep.
I don't know. I used to watch Reds games, but this season and last season I haven't gotten into that much. I don't know. I go roundabout, but I can't watch anything sad. It just doesn't. I think I've told this story. I was on a plane and I watched The Notebook years and years and years ago. And I remember putting down my headphones and turning to my mom. We were going to Las Vegas. I don't know why. And I said to her, I am never watching a sad movie again. And I haven't, because I'm like, I struggle with depression. I get sad on my own. I don't need help from a movie. Okay, how do you clean pixie spray off stencils? Rubbing alcohol works for that. How do you decide what to craft with when this is a hobby? I love everything, so it's often hard to decide what to use in the moment. You know, I'm gonna ask folks to put in the comments how they decide, because this isn't a hobby for me. So, but I choose the same stuff whether it's my joy or my job. So I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say. I like things that are different. Clever, like this die set and how it comes together. I think it's clever, and it makes me feel creative. So that's why I choose it. But it's hard because there are a lot of different things out there. In fact, my closet craft chat over in my Share Handmade Kindness Facebook group today was on this topic, like how do you decide? But for me, a lot of times it's about how creative a product is. Or, you know, you also, here's the thing, part of me says, pick what style you like and focus on that. Like if you like more cutesy things, go for Lawn Fawn. Or Concord and Ninth has some cutesy stuff. If you like more elegant, go for Altenew. But I also think there is a lot to be said for trying things that aren't normal for you. Because sometimes my creativity comes when I use something that I normally wouldn't use. You know, so like say you don't normally do like vintage looking things, try some Tim Holtz stuff because you might be surprised what you learn. I feel like we learn the most when we're doing something that's kind of out of our comfort zone. So say you never have done interactive cards, try one. So really part of it is going with what you're comfortable with so it feels natural, and part of it is also kind of stretching your supplies. I found that I created little dots using a Hero Arts confetti die to put little like berries on those bushes, and I'll probably put them on the other two bushes too. All right, so there we have a little scene coming up. On this one, I'll probably put some clouds up, put a cloud up here, probably just one cloud, like right there. And I'll do a white heat embossed sentiment down here. I'm going to save that for later. But notice how I was able to stretch my supplies. These are meant for something completely different. Where's my little toppers? Let me see here. This guy gets a little guy, a chimney cap thingy, which I just had to pay a lot of money to have done to my house. Dang it. Get a new chimney cap. So, you know, it's hard to say. I will say, if you're trying to decide between different products, go for the products that you can stretch, that you can get more than one look out of. Like the Countryside Stencils, I was able to get a countryside look or like a spring look. So look at products that you can use in creative ways. I think that's, there's my other steps. I think that's always a way to be a little more mindful about what you purchase. Another thing is, you know, you may watch a video like mine and get kind of caught up and say, oh, I want to buy all that. Maybe take a pause and go to the company's website and look at the examples that they have. Sometimes seeing more examples of how a product can be used can help you better decide if it's something you want to invest in. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Look at that. All right, so I had planned, I'll tell you what I planned. These containers, somebody asked again, these little containers are from Concord and Ninth. They're great for storing or just using for temporary uses. I have them linked in the middle of my supply list. It says Concord and Ninth embellishment containers. For this one, I had originally meant to make it, in fact, I cut all the pieces to make it a longer one, but I already cut it. I was going to make it an A6 card and put an A6 frame around it, but I already cut it down. So I'll show you what I was going to do. I'll just do it from A4. No, A2. So Kristina Werner has lots of frame dies. I'm a big fan of them. I've used them many times. I talk about them a lot. You have her thin frames and more thin frames. These cut really thin frames. And she has them in proportioned for A2 and for A7. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 and 5 by 7. And she now has them for A6, which I begged her for, okay? So I don't have those out. But she also has detailed frames. So this is the detailed frames for A2, which is what we mostly make. Here's A7 detailed frames, and now she has A6 detailed frames. And that's what I was gonna use today, but I already cut it down. So I'll go to my A2 detailed frames. We'll cut one from white cardstock, and we'll just put that on top. Do the lid, something went by too fast. Do the lids on the container snap or screw closed? They snap on. All right, so I really like these detail frames. There's different ones, but this one that cuts like the outside frame for an A2 card, I think that just gives it a nice finished look. So I'll put glue along the back of that. And my final card, I'd probably glue a couple together so it's a little more dimensional. And I would go back and stamp like the pebbles and stuff on the trees too. But I'm gonna, like I did on the first card, but I'm not gonna do that right now. So see how that just gives it a nice finished look? You could put acetate over that too, like I did on this one. Just put acetate on here and it gives it like a framed look. What would you do if you didn't make cards? Oh dear, I'd be a sad, sad person. I don't know. I was an engineer and I was miserable. Not my thing. It wasn't right for me. I went into engineering because I was good at math, but engineering was not right for me. I think I'm still, so, but I would probably I would be a stay-at-home mom, which I think is the hardest job in the world, which I kind of do in addition, but I have help. I would be a high school math teacher. All right, so after I stamp my sentiment here, I'd probably white heat emboss it and add some little gems. I would glue acetate on top and then another white frame, and it just gives it a shiny look. No, not much dimension, but a shiny look, which I think sometimes is really nice on the front of the card, especially with the scene. The sentiment I would probably choose, if you guys could see my floor. Let me see what sentiment I would choose. I think I like that. I hope you find some joy today, right there again. Here I did it in the sky. Here I would do it in white heat embossing on the bottom. But isn't that fun how I was able to stretch the country kind of fall look to a summertime look? You could even put, Concord and 9th has lots of little house die sets, some with little Christmas things, like you can do like a Christmas tree and little lights on the houses. Really cool. Oh, you're a high school math teacher who would love to craft for a living. Well, here's the thing. We all end up where we need to be, right? All right, so there are some more. Who's here?
Mom.
Oh, okay. All right. Is she bringing dinner? She did?
Yeah.
What'd she bring?
Lasagna.
Okay. Okay. I have more planned. I may go live to finish this tomorrow. Let me just show you. I'm not going to do this one right now. But I used that Autumn Lane die set, which has the houses and the funky trees. And I'm going to make a fun easel card. I thought I made a house. I don't know where my house went. I swear I made a house. I made a house somewhere. I was going to do an easel card with the house up here and some of these funky trees along it, scattered along it, a little fence along it too, and then do the big thankful from the thankful die sets from Kristina Werner. So I think I will do that tomorrow if I'm still feeling up to it to go live. I'm feeling better right now. The meds aren't too bad yet. But just to show you, and you can see I stamped that linen stamp from Kristina Werner on the background. And then the Autumn Lane stamp set stamps little textures for the trees. So see these little texture stamps? I stamped those on the tree die cuts. So all you have to do is take like a tree die cut, stamp on it, and then put the little tree trunk on it. Did I give you any that are called Autumn Lane or House or anything? Mike?
There were Autumn Splendor.
Do Autumn first. Maybe that's right. This may be right. There, look at that's from Concord and 9th. There's the Autumn Lane, the houses and the trees. Look how cute. See that card on the bottom right? That's kind of the scene I was gonna do, but an easel card. All right? So I just think that's fun. They stamped the little leaves all over the grass hill, but isn't that fun? So many different ways you can use this set. And there's those funky trees over on the left. What else was there? Oh, this is the Autumn Splendor I showed earlier. Okay. Is there a Countryside?
Country.
I don't know if there is.
Well, this one.
Okay, this is from Concord and 9th. That's what I used before. There's some of the inking that they did. Just to show you more. Concord and 9th is really good about having lots of examples on their site. So this one I might do tomorrow, if you guys think it's something you'd want to see. Okay, next I need to use some Kristina Werner. By the way, let me show you. I do little mock-ups sometimes. So I had this little mock-up that I came up with before I put my card together. And that saves me from messing up my cards. So I kind of was referring to this as I was putting my card together. Okay. Yeah, I know. They knock it out of the park. Okay. Mike, there was a card called Kristina. Can you pull that up again? This card blew my mind. Sometimes the simplest card blows your mind. Kristina Werner made that card. Okay. And that inspired some ideas in me of taking that, possibly ruining it by stepping it up a little bit with texture. But isn't hers beautiful? I just think that's gorgeous. My guess is that's, I don't know what color ink on the bottom, but the middle would be eucalyptus. The top might be evergreen. I don't know. I'll have to ask her. I would call her or text her right now, but she's in Europe and I would wake her up. So I think it's stunning and it's inspiring some of what I'm about to show you. Okay, so this is the Calm Canopy stamp set. There's a die set to cut out the sentiments. I'm going to do some fun things with it. Okay, let's start. Let me think. The first one I thought about was, you know how she did the ink? Show hers again, will you? Probably almond. You're right. See how she did light at the bottom, darker towards the top. She cut it out and glued it onto a card with some foam tape. I want to make it a smooth one layer. So I'm going to mask that center inked area. And instead of just doing ink, I thought I would try to do a little resist with it. So, okay, come back here, Mike. This is white cardstock. And what you can't see, but I promise I did it, is I have that light linen background stamped. I stamped with white pigment ink on white cardstock. You can't see it, but I promise it's there. I stamped the light linen with white pigment ink on white cardstock. You can't see it, but I promise it's there, okay? And I'm gonna see if I'll be able to see it when I put ink on top. I might not, and it might flop, and you can just pretend the white pigment ink isn't there. We'll see. I'm using masking tape here. This is Altenew satin tape. I was going to cut a piece of masking paper, Masking Magic from Gina K, and cut a rectangle from the center or an oval and use that for my masking. But remember how I said it was a sad day when I realized I only have one sheet of Aqua Sky left? Aqua Sky cardstock. I only have little pieces of Masking Magic left. It's horrible. So I have to use masking tape instead. but I thought this will give a nice little rectangle area in this center. Okay, so I'm hoping, I should have tested this first, that the white pigment ink I've stamped on there will softly resist the ink I put on top. If I wanted that texture to show up really bold, I would have white heat embossed that. But I wanted it to be subtle. Let's pick some colors. What should I do, Mike? Blues, greens, or like fall colors?
Orange?
Orange? Orange, okay, fall colors.
Coral.
Okay, I'm gonna go with clementine.
I don't know.
You're good, you're
Not
good.
crafty, sorry.
No, I'm gonna do fall colors. I'm gonna do like oranges. He said orange. I'll give him orange. That's what he asked for. So I'm gonna start with clementine. I could kiss on this. I could do a lot of things, but this is just one of the easy things I did. So I stamped that already, the linen with white pigment ink on white cardstock. The reason I did it ahead of time is I didn't want to have to heat set it while I'm on here. So what I'm going to do is take clementine, which is a lighter orange, and I'll put that on the bottom. Yeah, you can see a little bit. See the linen showing through? I don't know if you can see it, but I'm putting that towards the bottom. I'm using my Pink Fresh Magic brushes, and I'll wipe off the excess ink. See the texture? You'll see it more when I do darker. Then I'll come up to the top. This is cayenne. I don't even think I have a brush for that color. Knock off some of the extra because I don't want harsh lines. Oh, Mike, it's working. Look at that. You see the texture? Do you see it, Mike?
I am crafty.
See? He's crafty.
Uh-oh.
I think there's a song like that. What?
I'm crafty.
I think...
Oh, she's crafty.
She's crafty? Yeah. See, we can do it about Mike, though. And then spice cider where they meet. Mike! Look at that. Mike! Mike is keeping his job for another week. Okay, let's put some more cayenne at the top. Look at that. I'm mimicking Kristina's where it's dark at the top and then fades to light at the bottom. Look at that, Michael. Well done, Mike. And see how that little bit of white pigment ink stamping resisted the color on top. Subtly. If you wanted it to be more intense, like where the stamping is white, you need to start with white heat embossing. But what happens is the white pigment ink that I stamped first is a pigment ink, which is kind of like, I like to think of it as paint. When you put paint on cardstock, it kind of like acrylic paint, it sits on top of your cardstock. Dye ink, which is the color ink I used, absorbs into it. So what happens is that white pigment ink that's sitting on top of the cardstock prevents the orange dye ink that we're putting on top from absorbing wherever we stamped it. Okay? I'm going to hold it up here. Hang on. See? Isn't that cool? Oh, it worked. Okay. Mike, they're giving you credit for the whole thing. Run with it.
I did great. Thank you.
Did great. You did great. Thank you. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done orange, and it's fantastic. And for the rest of the card, it's going to be perfect. Okay, so really you can stamp anything here. Silhouette images are awesome. I'm using the Calm Canopy from Kristina Werner, but I will tell you another designer who does amazing silhouette images is Gina K. So if you're looking for more silhouette images you can put on this kind of background, try Gina K. Okay, but I'm going to use this kind of fall look here. Can you put Kristina's back on the screen? I'm going to copy her. Let's see what she's got. Leave it there so I can find the same ones. Why reinvent the wheel when Kristina Werner's already done it for us? Okay, so she put one here. Keep it there. Yeah, Gina's got a lot of them. She's got some summery ones. She's got lots. Okay. All right, you can put it back. Go back here. Okay, this is basically what Kristina did. She's in Europe. She'll never know I just copied her. No, she wouldn't care. Like that. Okay, and then she's got a lot of beautiful sentiments here, but I think I'm going to go with Sincerely Grateful because, as I said, I do a lot of thank you cards. Hold on, my head's going to get in the way. And I'm going to stamp all that on here. Now, I'm going to stamp this with black ink. My go-to black is Hiding Altenew Obsidian Black ink. It's a pigment ink. It just stamps nice and black and solid and dark and crisp, and it'll stamp on top of all of this. Oops, that's kind of going out of my MISTI, but you could always heat emboss this when you're done with like clear to make it really nice and shiny, but I'm not going to do that today. The reason I'm having to push so much is my stamp is hitting the edge of my MISTI, and because I didn't check it first. See how it's hitting there? So I'm having to put a little muscle into it. But look at that. Seeing where it's not stamping well. Also, there's a little ledge because of that masking tape, so I got to make sure I stamp it well. Okay. Oh dear. Okay. I'm going to leave that there because I might use it again. All right, so now I'm going to take this off. Oh my goodness, I'm in love already. All right, so now when you peel off the masking tape, pull it back on itself like this, and that prevents tearing. Gina K has Masking Magic strips that would be great along this. I know I have those, but I can't find them. But I know I'm out of Masking Magic. Look at that. But just stay with me because I have more versions of this. Oh my gosh, Mike. Mike, you're hired. Look at that. Yeah. He was hoping to be fired so he can do pinballs all day, pinball machines all day. Now, I mentioned that Kristina has the thin frame dies. There's thin frames and more thin frames. So I believe thin frames is the bigger and the smaller, and then more is in between, something like that. But I have them linked below so you can find them. But I used the A2 thin frame, the smallest one, and I cut from metallic cardstock. This is champagne. Oh my gosh. Or I could do gold. I think for this I need gold. Ooh, I don't know. I like the champagne. So Concord and 9th has champagne foil cardstock, which is one of my favorites. So this is the A2 thin frame from Kristina, and I just cut it from Concord and 9th champagne cardstock. And this is the only dimension this card will have. Everything else is nice and smooth. So if you're one of those who wants like those really easy to mail cards, this one's it. But it has such a classic look to it that it doesn't look like, oh, you took the easy road. So I'm going to put that around. And I want to make sure I don't have it warped. So I'm going to put the center in there just to make sure like the sides are pushed against it. Then I'll remove the center and wait. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Kristina. I had some black ink on my fingers. I need to clean my fingers. Hang on. Look at how beautiful that is. You could put gems on it. Oh, you know what it is? My black ink isn't dry because I stamped with the pigment ink. So I need to dry that pigment ink, but I'm just gonna dry it later or just leave it to dry. Look at that. Now, another thing that you could do if you really want to step this up is spray with like a glitter spray over it. But look how beautiful that is. So simple. I'm not done. What was the other? Scroll back a little bit. I saw something. What cloth effect die, press plate, or embossing folder do you recommend? There are a few. I like, for a stamp, I like this light linen background stamp. For press plates, there are a few, but the one I use the most, I forget what this is called. I don't have it. It's from Altenew, like a burlap press plate. And then there are 2 embossing folders from Altenew that do great texture, and they're in their past 2 months of Craft Your Life project kits, and I talked about them in my last live, so you can go back to my last live and see that. All right, there's one. Here's one that I made off screen. This one I just did inking. I did Buttercup to Lakefront, and then I overlapped in the middle. So I didn't do any of that stamping first, but what a difference that white resist did. Rustic burlap, that's it. So there are a couple. Now I have some more planned. I have 2 more, and then I'm gonna let Mike breathe. Okay, so this is, what was I planning? No, I have 3 more. Sorry, Mike. Okay, this one is, what did I do? I did Surfside to Lakefront to a little bit of Blueberry, okay? Just like I did before, but I didn't do any stamping first. No stamping first, just inking. Now my thought is here to stamp again. Oof. Let's do a different stamp. Hold please. Let me move these. Maybe there's a different stamp image that I could use. Oh, what if I did that? I like that. I like it. Let's see. So what if I do that there? So I just had like this one. Maybe like that. Let's see. Let's try it. I know they're going to all give different looks. Let's see. So this is just one of the Calm Canopy stamped images. That's pretty. You could do like silver or gold embossing here would be beautiful. Really pretty. All right, so I got that. Now I think for this one, I'm going to peel this off. Oops, I tore a little my cardstock. I'm trying to hurry too much. Oh, you know, this tape, I didn't stick to my arm first. But if you're careful, it won't tear. I'm just hurrying. Yeah, see, I should have stuck it to my arm first. See how I'm tearing some of the cardstock? It's okay. I'm going to smooth it out with the sanding paper. But this is pretty strong masking tape. I should have stuck it to my arm first like I did when you were watching on the last one. That didn't tear it at all. But what I'll do is I'll take my paper sander and just smooth that out, and nobody will ever know. That'll take that like torn look off of it because I don't want to give up on this now. Okay, so there we have that. Put that down. Now this. Just going to stamp on top. Now I have blue ink on this. Let's hope it doesn't leave any blue ink behind. Okay, let me clean this a little bit. I should clean this better, but I'm lazy. So I'm just using baby wipes to do a quick clean. And then I'm going to stamp over it. I really like this linen stamp. I feel like it can be used for a lot. I'm going to stamp over it with Lawn Fawn Jellyfish, which is just like a light gray. Maybe that's a little too light. Let's see. What about Gina K Whisper? That's light too. Let's go back to Jellyfish, and I'll stamp it a couple times. But this will just give, I may switch to a different color if this is too subtle. Just give a fun texture over the whole thing. Oh yeah, my blue's showing up. Let's go a little bit darker. Let's go with Pebble. No, yeah, Pebble from Concord and 9th. It's a little bit darker. I could have done a light blue, like powder. Oh, now that's going to dry and lighten up. Don't worry. Yeah, okay, so let me show you. It'll dry and lighten up. But it just gives like a texture look. Now I could have done, hold on, I need to stamp it more in the middle. I could have just done it over the masking tape so it's only in the center, but I wanted kind of that linen look over the whole background. See how pretty that is? Yeah, the paper sander saves many a card. But there, that gives you kind of a linen texture over the whole thing. All right? So it's just a different version. I need to stamp a sentiment, but, oh, no. I was gonna do this. Yeah, okay. This is what I like to do. I had it cut from white because I didn't know what color. I showed you earlier in the video, I have a bunch of these cut from white. And then you can rub over it any color you want to match your project. And I'm gonna show you this up close, hold on. See how there's like a little bit of white showing around it? It gives it a really cool look, right? Let me heat set that because it's pigment ink and it takes a moment. Mike, can you add, I have the best brother in the world. It's wine time. It does look kind of like rain. If you wanted it to not, you could do the texture the other way. Thank you, Mike.
Would you want me to?
Oh, I love it. The paper sander.
Okay.
I'm gonna put this on here. This would also look pretty in like the gold or champagne. I'm gonna do the black, and I'll first put down one of those. We'll do gold. Football's starting. I'm not a football watcher. You guys, I'm a big wimp and it's too violent for me. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so a little bit of a frame. That's from Kristina Werner, Thin Frames. And then, look at that. You know what? I did this in black, but let me see what it would look like in gold. Hold, please. And then I have more. And then I'm gonna let Mike go so he can have a life. Do you have a life, Mike?
Not really, no.
Yeah, either do I. Hang on. We like our hobbies. The only place I went all weekend was church. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Good. Yeah, the frame does add to it, but doesn't add too much dimension. I think this might be prettier. Watch this. The gold, yeah. Oh, a little offset for a bit of a shadow. Un momento. We're going to do some stuff with stencils in a moment. I've already inked the background, so it won't take long. All right. Okay. I'm going to just offset this just a hair. Just a hair. I'm not doing a great job here because I'm trying to hurry, but you get the idea. Just a hair. Okay. Look at that. Oh, that's cool. Isn't that neat? So, where's my orange one? I like the orange one the best. Just different looks. All right, I got more. Oh, okay, medicine's wearing off. Let's just do one more. We'll do one more. Medicine wearing up. Okay, I promised that leaf. This is the Leaf Flow stencil pack. If you go back to the beginning, you'll see things you can do with this. I'm going to make an impression with this, but first, let's do our stamping. Okay. Stick this in here. Move my linen. I'm not going to use it for this card. Okay. Kristina has so many great examples with this canopy, calm canopy set. But okay, I think I'll do, what if I do like that and the sentiment in between? Like that. I don't know. I still like the Sincerely Grateful. Where'd I put it? Here it is. Because I do so many thank you cards. Hang on, sorry my head's in the way. Sincerely Grateful, like that. Yeah, I think that's good enough. We're just gonna go with it, okay? I could spend this week and next getting this just where I want it. That's how I am. But I'm gonna go with it. Boom. Okay. So I'm gonna stamp this with the black ink. You could do gold heat embossing, whatever. All right. Stamp that again. You know, how did we live without the Misty? So fantastic. Greatest thing ever. I think I want a little more stamping up there at the top center. Up here? No. I think I'm going to go with it. Okay? I'm going to go with it. Actually, I lied. Hold on. Do a little bit right here. Then it gives me kind of like a little visual triangle. Like right there. Just a little. Yeah, I wish it... Okay, who said that? Bethany Road? Mike, put that on the screen. I think our world would be so much happier. Don't you? Mike is pinball machines. My dining room or my kitchen table upstairs has the inside of a pinball machine upside down where he's doing all the electric on it. I don't know how any of it is. Now this is going to tear because I did this before I realized my paper would tear. And the way to avoid that little bit of tearing on your cardstock is either go really slow doing what I'm doing, but I'm in a hurry, or sticking it to your arm first before you stick it to your cardstock, and that removes a little bit of the stick. This one didn't do as bad. I think I was just too hurried last time. Oop, fingerprint. Oh, there we go. There's some tearing. Paper sander will take care of it. Okay, there's a little fingerprint right here. Let me show you. See a little fingerprint? Watch. Fingerprint gone. And then over here where that tape tore, because I'm in a hurry. Okay, the satin tape doesn't normally tear. I don't know what cardstock I used. I don't think it's my normal use. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to show you something fun you can do. Remember the leaf flow stencils? Leaf flow? Yes, leaf flow. This is the solid. There are different ones to color it in, so you can, between this and the other stencils, it can be, you know, like solid. You can do really cool things. I'm going to make an impression. This is going to be subtle, okay? We're going to make an impression with this stencil. Now, making an impression with the stencil is very similar to making an impression with the die, or making an impression with a press plate, or making an impression with a foil plate. Use the same sandwich. I have my Spellbinders Platinum, and hold on, I need wine. All die cut machines come with or have available a flexible mat like this. It's called an embossing mat. Now, don't confuse embossing with heat embossing. Heat embossing involves powder and a heat gun. Dry embossing is when you make an impression on your paper. So this is an embossing mat for dry embossing. And you follow the sandwich that your machine recommends. But all machines either have a mat available or comes with it. This one comes with it. Now, I'm going to take my cardstock and lay it down. Then I'm going to take a stencil and lay it on top. And this is going to put that texture onto it. Now, I want it to be a little deeper. So I will take a piece of cardstock, fold it in half, and put it on top, just for a little more pressure. and then put my top plate on it. If I was making an impression with a die, I would not have put that extra cardstock shim in there, but with a stencil you can. Okay, and you run it through and look at the texture that you add to it. Ooh, ah. Mike, you need like an ooh, ah sound. You can play at these moments. It's hard to catch in the video, but it adds such interest to the final card. Very simple, right? Doesn't take much effort. That's the leaf flow stencil. You can do that with any stencil. That half-tone stencil I showed you before looks really cool with it. I'll show you that in a moment. Like here, I use the half-tone stencil. I don't know if you can see it? The half-tone stencil. So it adds a little texture to it. Here I did not use the shim. The cardstock shim. The cardstock shim gives you a deeper impression. So we need a frame for this. I have my, this is champagne cardstock from Concord and 9th. By the way, the colors of inking that I did here, oh dear, what was it? Oh, I know. It was Buttercup at the bottom, then Sweet Pea, which is a pink, and then Fig at the top. One of my favorite color blends. If you have Tim Holtz inks, you can do it with, let's see, what do I use for it? I use seedless preserves to picked raspberry to carved pumpkin. Now I like to put the center in to make sure like my frame is fitting, like isn't wobbly. And look at that. Isn't that pretty? It just adds some texture to it. And you can do that with any stencil, but I really love this one. And if you go back to the beginning, I showed some cards Betsy did with this leaf flow stencil. No, this is not going to flatten in the mail. This will not flatten in the mail. No, I don't. Once you've stretched your paper with an embossing folder or dry embossing, it's not going to go back to flat. It won't. Yeah, you can't see my sanding anymore. The paper sander is one of the greatest tools in the craft room. And the one that I linked to below, there's several in the pack. Also, if you look at my live that I did a couple Mondays ago, so it was like 2 or 3 lives ago, I showed some techniques you can do with the paper sander. I highly recommend them. You can get nail buffers like this at like a beauty store, but the ones that are linked to below are from, that Mike added to the supply list, are from Paper Artsy, which is a craft company, and it's just the right amount of grind, what do you call that? Grit. Brianne just put a link to the paper sanding blocks in the comments. So there are 3 different looks. 4 different looks. So let me go through them. First of all, here's one that I stamped the linen background stamp with white pigment ink on white cardstock. You can't see it on the edge, but when you put the dye ink on top, it somewhat resists the color you put on top. I'm gonna have to do more with that technique. Oh, good, Wendy. Hi, Wendy, it's good to see you. All right, then we have where I stamped the linen texture on top, but I stamped with the light gray ink, so you can see it on the outside. I could have left the masking tape on so it was only on the inside. And I did like an offset sentiment. That's the Thankful Dies from Kristina, which I showed earlier. I've already started mass die cutting with. This is the one where I made an impression with the leaf flow stencil. If you don't want to make an impression with a stencil, you could use an embossing folder. But it's nice to be able to make an impression with your stencil because it's another way to use your stencils. And then this is one that I did off screen where I just did the inking and the stamping. And it's hard to see, but I used the half-tone stencil for dry embossing. I did not put an extra sandwich or a shim in there, so it's not very deep, but in real life it adds a fun texture. So there you go. So these are good ones if you want to make a bunch. Little gift ideas, okay? This is one of my favorite things to do for teachers. And then when my mother-in-law was alive, I used to, oh, I have another one here. When my mother-in-law was alive, I would make sets of cards for every Christmas. What I would do is mask a bunch of cardstocks, ink the centers, stamp, and then do different colors of ink, right? And do different sentiments. And then do a different technique over it, like maybe a stencil or the resist. And so some of them that would be thank you, some of them would be birthday, some of them would be thinking of you, some would be sympathy. And then you give a set of like 12 cards with 12 colored envelopes and give that as a gift. And that is what I call crafter math, where you buy a bunch of supplies and then make gifts for people with them, and it just makes it like free. If that makes sense. Here's another that I didn't get to use, but I think I'll probably do this. I like this with that leaf texture. This is Capri to Aster. Capri to Aster. You know what I'm going to do here? No, I'm not going to do it. Anyways, that's another one. So you can do all different color combos and do a set of cards. And then all the money you spent on the supplies is gone because it makes a gift. Right, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay. So there are some. We've got this. We've got this. We've got this. We got a lot. And Concord and Ninth does gift cards, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me double check that.
Okay. I'm giving away a $50 gift card to Concord and Ninth. Just from me. Yeah, it's good math, isn't it? $50 gift card to Concord and Ninth. For your chance to win the gift card, just leave a comment in the chat below. If you've been leaving comments, you're already eligible. I have a mess to clean up. Ooh. But I'll finish these up and take photos of them. I think I might go live tomorrow to show the rest of that card that I had prepped. I've got it prepped. I might as well. The Autumn Ling card with the big thankful word. So there you go. This free gift is, I think, throughout the month of August, I think. So, what?
I don't know the answer to that.
I think it is. So, that's from Concord and Ninth. To see how to get the free gift, it's in the special offers in the YouTube description below. Now, one thing I want to mention, if you're looking for thumbnails of all the products I talk about, which is easier to search through than the text, at the top of my YouTube description, there is a link with the word live in it. If you click that link, it'll open up to a new page and you can easily find whatever you're looking for there. Also, it has images of whatever special offers there are. So there are some ideas for you. And a big thank you to Betsy Green for letting me share some of her examples at the beginning. I put a link to her Instagram account in the YouTube description below. But I have a few things to finish here. And there you go. There you go, there you go. Mike, do you have a winner?
Yes, I do. I do.
Who's the winner? I shouldn't have this.
Too late.
I'll probably not finish it. Okay, who?
The winner is Nanny Annie.
Nanny Annie, I like your name.
Yes, so I will add that here.
Nanny Annie.
And I will pin it in once I can get over here. Pin, 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 pin.
Heather, I think that linen stamp can be used for a lot. It's great just for adding texture to anything. In fact, the card that I want to do tomorrow, look at, I just added texture to my grassy hills.
All right,
That's
I pinned your
linen
name,
stamp.
so you should be able to see it in the pin.
Okay, there you go. So Nanny Annie, go to my website and email me through the contact me. Your address or just your email address is enough, and we will get you that gift card. My shoulders aren't this big. I think it was on the hanger. Anyways, okay. Yeah, it's apparently lasagna time.
Poofy shoulders.
I have poofy. Who was it? Seinfeld, the
Yeah.
poofy shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pirate look.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you all. I appreciate you being here, and thank you to Concord and Ninth for that great free gift offer. I'm thinking I'll be back tomorrow. It'll have to be at 4 p.m. because I have to go to the dentist. So 4 p.m. tomorrow. I'm hoping to see you then, and then I'm not sure. Let me see. Hold on. I know the other day I go live this week. It is... Hold on. I'll do this on Monday. It'll be a shorter one. And then I'm going live on Wednesday and maybe Thursday. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And have a good Sunday. Bye-bye.